Hi everyone, welcome to this live session right now that's happening. I think some of you have already joined us in our weekly AMAS, right? Ask Me Any Stocks session, right? If you guys can see and hear us, right, just type a 1 in the chat. I think some of you have already typed in the name of the stocks that you want a quick opinion on. Let me just see. I think some of you are typing like Rex. Hi, we have Sheng Siong as well, LHN, Venture, Riverstone. Thanks, Andy. Good to see you here as well. Hi, Pavesh, 111. All right, awesome. ST Engineering. Hi, Victor, 1 as well. Good morning. Good morning. All right, okay, so welcome, guys. Welcome to this session right here today. All right, Friday, 7th Feb 2025. Our Ask Me Any Stock session, right? Hi, good to see you here as well. Chi Sing, all right, you've been joining us almost weekly, right? Good to see you here as well. Raymond, C-Trim as well. All right. So not to worry, guys. I know you are typing in the name of the stocks already. All right. And my team is slowly going through, plus me as well. All right. Later we'll go through. We will do our best to cover the Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on. All right. So for those of you who are new, who are joining us, you have no idea what is this live session about. Well, essentially every Friday, we'll cover alternate, right? Whether is it the US market and the Singapore market. So today is the Singapore market, right? Because last Friday was US, so today Singapore, next Friday will be US again, right? So that's where we'll cover either the Singapore market or the US, or the US market, right? So in this Ask Me Any Stock session, essentially we'll do a quick market outlook. Like today, Singapore market. So of course, I'll go through the STI, the Straits Times Index. And after that, we will, kind of like dive into the stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on. Just type it in the chat. We'll just, take turns. Me, my team, Bervyn and Zee as well. All right, will be with me to cover your stock using my one strategy. All right, in short, that will be the one GT Pro indicator as well that we have that gives you an opinion in seconds. All right, so that's exactly what will happen. And of course, at the end of this Ask Me Any Stock session as well, right? That's where we will also cover a bonus stock that each of us like, right? So we have 3 of us over here. So each of us will share with you guys one bonus stock as well that we like, all right? So there'll be 3 bonus stocks that you want to put in your watch list because we think there could potentially be more upside. Of course, we saw some bullish, signals on my one GT indicator as well, all right? So you might want to watch this as well, all right? So let me get started right now, all right? And essentially, my name is Joey Choy, guys. If you have not met before, Joey here, top tier MyZeal trader in Phillips Securities. I've been doing this for more than 10 years now. We do conduct some trainings as well, teaching our mentees, our graduates as well. So if you want to find out a little bit more on the entire one good trend strategy that I've been using for more than 10 years now, all right? And how we have an indicator that just guides us when to get in, when to get out, when to buy, when to sell. And also, how do we actually filter out the top 1%, all right, of stocks, all right, before we even think about getting in and out on them, right? If you want to find out about all this, right, we do have time to cover all this today. As I said, today is an AMAS session, Ask Me Any Stock session. So if you want to find out like the whole strategy, the whole framework, the whole mechanics behind how to use an indicator, how it guides you, how to have access to an indicator like that as well to help you, well, attend one of those free webinar, all right? We probably have one more webinar next week, all right? And then we'll probably rest for a few months, right? So go ahead to register for the free webinar. The link is in the chat if you want to find out about the strategy, all right? But today we don't have time to cover, we're just pretty much covering your stocks, all right? And, so my name is Joey Choy, all right? If you are just following us, you've just joined us, welcome to this AMAS Ask Me Any Stock live session, all right? We are just getting started. And let me just introduce to you my team member as well. My mentors who have been with me for more than 4 to 5 years. They are, Bervyn, all right, who has been, conducting our group coaching session as well, doing our mentees one-on-one training as well, pretty much able to, understand everything about this one good trend strategy and also share it with our graduates and our mentees. So Bervyn is actually a chartered financial analyst, a CFA holder, all right, for those of you who are in banking or finance industry, right, you know that this is one of the highest qualification that one can get. So Bervyn is very strong, not just on technical analysis, but also on, fundamental analysis as well. All right, and he's also assisting our portfolio manager in terms of our managed account service. All right, so Bervyn, maybe I'll just pass on the mic to you, just say a few words, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, this is Bervyn here. I saw quite a few familiar names. Very glad to see everybody coming back to join us on this weekly AMAS session. I hope that I can continue to give you guys value, and then of course provide some insights onto those stocks you are currently holding on your watch list, things like that. All right, so I think that is all from me. I think let's continue to have a good start to the year. All right.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Bervyn. So let me go ahead to introduce another of my team member, Zee. All right, Zee. This very pretty lady over here. All right, and Zee has been with me for more than 45 years as well. All right, coaching our mentees, our graduates, doing one-on-one coaching as well, assisting our portfolio manager with our managed portfolio service. And Zee is pretty much an expert in anything TA. All right, what is TA? TA stands for technical analysis. Anything to do with the charts. She is a chartered market technician. All right, even I don't have that cert. All right, chartered market technician. And I mean, if you are into technical analysis, this is the highest qualification one can ever get in terms of technical analysis. So, of course, Zee knows about the one good trend strategy inside out. All right, she of course has her own thoughts as well, her own opinion. All right, and we have Zee right over here joining us today, right, to give you guys an opinion on the stocks that you want a quick opinion on as well. All right, so Zee, maybe just say a few words. All right, go ahead.
Thanks, Joey, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Zee. Well, I think what Joey mentioned about the CMT is just basically a very fancy way of saying that I look at chart too much lah. But yeah, anyway, I'm very happy to be here today and very glad to see some of you guys coming back. So I hope to see more of you guys at our future sessions as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about me. I'll pass the time back to Joey because we have a lot to cover today.
Yep. Thank you so much. Right. So yeah, there's a lot of stocks we want to cover. All right. We try to keep it short, right? I know we have each time we cover in each of our AMAS session, right? So today is Singapore market. We can cover like more than 20, maybe 25 stocks. All right. So, if one stock we take about 2 or 3 minutes, it's quite long. So we try to keep it short, maybe 1 minute. All right. And we'll just move on very quickly. All right. So just a quick disclaimer, very quickly, right? Whatever that's shared today in this live session, right, is just for education, all right, purposes only. Is not financial advice. It's not to ask you to buy or not to buy or not to sell, not to buy. All right. Right. It's just for education purpose only. So, standard disclaimer, please do your own due diligence as well. All right. Okay. So let's get started right now. And maybe, right, since we are talking about the Singapore market today, right, we can cover what we call the Straits Times Index, right? The STI. So let me just cover the STI before we will dive into the stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on. All right. And if you have any questions as well, guys, I mean this is pretty much where we cover your stocks. But if you have any questions, regarding like the strategy or something you're not too sure about, please feel free to type it in the chat as well. All right. That's where, if we have time, we will try to go through your questions as well. Does it make sense? All right, so let's get started right now. So this is the STI. This is STI right now, 3,843. So if you ask me, right, I mean, we have covered the STI 2 weeks back. All right, I mentioned that we have pretty much been in a longer term uptrend for the STI. How do we know? Well, very simply, just by looking at the red line and the blue line, the 100 days moving average and the 200 days moving average. Both these two lines have been pointing up. The red is above the blue, not since like last month or last month, but since last year. All right. In fact, about April last year, we have turned into a pretty good longer term uptrend right over here, because we broke some of the very key resistance level, like the 3,300 level. All right. And that's where even the 3,400 gave way. And we really started to push up, right, since June to May last year, right? So having in longer term uptrend since last year. And in the short term, if you ask me, right, yeah, we did see a bit of selling. Look at this, right? We've got a bearish signal coming out, right? We got a bullish signal here before it really started to move up in April, May. Look at this, right? Bullish signal, up all the way, got a bearish signal, came back down maybe 1 month or 3 weeks, a new bullish signal, and there we go all the way up, right, from September to December. And I would say that over the past 2 months, well, we have started to see a little bit of a bearish signal coming. Look at this, right? Bearish signal, we move sideways a bit. Another bullish signal went up. Bearish signal, now we are like moving sideways. So a bit of a consolidation right now. And if I can draw this resistance level right here, the 3,900 with a support maybe around that 3,700. So you can see the range is quite clearly, all right, from about 3,700 to 3,900. It's like a 200 points range. All right, we are somewhere near the resistance. And if you look at this recent bearish signal, all right, you can see that just means that we are facing a bit of resistance near the 3,009. All right, if you can go above this 3009, right? Great. That would be a catalyst for the entire STI. Of course, the US also saw some weakness over the past 1-2 months due to the Federal Reserve coming out and say they don't want to slow down the pace of rate cuts. Of course, over the weekend, we had Donald Trump coming out and introducing tariffs on China, on Mexico, and on Canada as well. I mean, he managed to came out and said that he would like to delay the tariffs on Mexico and on Canada for like a month, all right, and the market started to rebound a little bit, but for China, it's still like a 10% tariff, and some of these countries are actually taking what we call retaliatory action. So these are some of the news that have came out that's affected the market a little bit negatively, all right, but so far, you can see that every time we dip, buyers are starting to bargain. So in general, I think the market is still quite bullish. Right, it's quite bullish. We are still holding above those key support levels. Like, as I say, the 3,700. Look at it, it's rebounded. We broke above it. Right now, we are still above it. So anything above 3,700, I think we're still pretty okay. We're still pretty okay. We might hit that down. All right, see a rebound again. But to get more confirmation of the next phase, well, I would say that we want to break firmly, all right, this 3,900. If that gives way, all right, and then we get a new bullish signal, right, the 1 GT bullish signal, that is where with the 20 days moving average line, you see now it's flattening out, right? This green line is flattening out. So the longer term trend is up. But if you ask me, the short term trend, is it up or down? Well, I would say none. Right? Why? Because this green line is not up or down, right? It is sideways, correct? So it is sideways. If you ask me, like maybe in November, I would say up. Look at this, the green line was up, right? If you ask me in September, I would say it's up. Right? Up, sideways, up, now becomes sideways again. Right? So when the short-term trend turns up, we get a bullish signal. Great, right? That is where I would say the market will be more bullish. We could really start to see the next phase of upside. And when that happens, I would say that the US market would be a kicker as well to guide the Singapore market. Right? So that's the STI. I think we're still okay. All right, just that we are probably in a short-term consolidation for now. All right. Okay, so that is pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the STI. So now let me go ahead to cover the Singapore stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on. I think you have already typed quite a lot of stocks in the chat. Let me just go ahead to go through one by one. Okay, let me just see. I think we have quite a lot of stocks, right, guys? Okay, just give me a while. Let me just pick one stock. All right, let me just pick one stock and see how it plays out. Maybe we have let's see. All right, okay, wow, so many guys. And guys, by the way, right, our apologies if we cannot cover every single stock. We hope you understand, right? I mean, there's just too many stocks, right? 40-50 stocks, how to cover, right? We try our best, right? So let me just go to pick some of the stocks, right? Maybe we have okay, let's see, we have okay, Riverstone, all right, Riverstone, Lee Che Tan, Riverstone. So let me just cover Riverstone right now, all right, Riverstone, all right, one of the stocks that we liked previously as well. Where is it? Riverstone. Andy also asking about Riverstone. Let's go. Let's take a look at Riverstone, right? So this is Riverstone, all right, and you can see, guys, that some of you might be a bit confused. How come you have this, green, signals, and you got some red signals out on your chart? Well, essentially, guys, for those of you who have been following me, I have this one good trend strategy. And with this one good trend strategy, which is the framework or the backbone of the 1 GT Pro indicator that I have, right? We are able to, within seconds, right, get an opinion on any single stock, all right? Any asset classes, stocks, US stocks, Singapore stocks, any asset classes, gold, Forex, Bitcoin, crypto, whatever, right? Doesn't matter, all right? Basically, you can have a quick opinion, right? So you can see right over here, I can turn it off, pump, it's gone, all right? Pump, it's on again. Does it make sense, guys? So that's how within a few seconds, I can just turn it on and get a quick opinion. So you can see this is Riverstone, not too bad. I mean, like over the past, like 1 over year, in fact, quite good, right? We got some bullish signals here in 2023, another bullish signals, and there we go, right? From November 2023 all the way up, a few bullish signals, it went up even faster. 67% gain in about 9 months, all right, 9 months. And then we got a bearish signal, it starts coming down, all right? And in September, we got a bullish signal, went sideways a bit. This was a good one. The second bullish signal came out in when? November last year. That's where it started to move up already. Does it make sense? All right, so not too bad, all right, in November all the way to now. But let's take a look at what has happened over the past 2 weeks. Wow, we got a bearish signal coming out finally, right? After this bullish signal in November, it went up, and then now we got a bearish signal. So bearish signal means that we are seeing a bit of selling. There might be some short-term selling momentum coming back, all right? So want to be a bit more careful, all right? So some of you might be asking, hey, why is there a bearish signal coming out? Well, I can just turn on quickly what we call a trailing support line. So you can see, right? Let me go back to over here. So you can see that this is a trailing support when we had this bullish signal in November 2023, right? and a couple of bullish signals that came out, we actually have a trailing support line that follows this stock called Riverstone as it moves up, as it managed to get 67% gain, all right? It follows it. And finally, when we go below the trailing support, so this trailing support, accounts for the volatility of a stock. It gives it breathing space to move up higher, if possible, all right? And it gives it allowance, all right? So that hopefully you can fan it and go up higher, right? But one fine day, if you go below it, allowance is given, yet you still go below it, not so good, right? Maybe we might see a bit of weakness in the short term. We might see a bit of a pullback. The short-term trend may turn down. And that's exactly what happened, right? We got a bearish signal. It starts coming down a little bit, right? And you can see a bullish signal pop up. A trailing support is back on again. Follow. And look at this, guys. Can you see why we have a bearish signal? Well, because we kind of like just went below this trailing support line. So yeah, it's a fact. We kind of like went below. And if you look at the green line as another confirmation, this green line, you can see, right? This green line, I mean, it was like up, flat. And now it's starting to, not up now. In fact, 2 weeks back, it started to point down. Plus, we got a bearish signal. Does it make sense? All right, so this is Riverstone. If you ask me right now, maybe not yet. I mean, you're looking to buy. I'm not too sure you're looking to buy or sell. All right, but if you're looking to buy, maybe not now. All right, I would like to get more confirmation. All right, and we pretty much have a checklist of things that we want to look out for. So if we do see a new bullish signal coming out, we maybe were to break the 110 level, all right, break the 110, we see the green line that is still pointing down, maybe start to point back up like over here, a new bullish signal, that would be a good signal to get back in. That would be a good reversal signal because the longer term trend is still up. So the longer term trend is fine. Nothing wrong with the longer term trend. I think this counter is okay, right? Just that in the short term, we are still seeing weakness. So why not let it play out until, we see signs of a reversal. Then we think about getting in again. Does it make sense? All right, so that is Riverstone. I hope I've given you a quick opinion. All right, Andy and also Leacher. Let me move on to the next Singapore stock that you guys are asking about. Maybe I'll just pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next Singapore stocks. Bervyn, go ahead.
Thanks, Joey. Thanks. I think Riverstone is one of those that we are actually all watching also. I think the next one I actually want to cover is this. I think Ted is asking about Capitaland. I believe you're asking about Capitaland Invest, one of these property management companies out there as well. But I think just on a quick glance, we can actually see that the longer term trend has been down. It's been down since early 2023. It's not seen a recovery, but sometime in late 2024. Right, late 2024, we actually see a little bit of a rebound from the 240 level, close to the 240 level. I'll place a key support level right there, where you actually saw that the 20 days moving average had actually started to point up very, very sharply for about 1 month, and then before it started to actually sell down again along with the prices. So prices have actually formed what we call lower high. So this is actually not a good sign. That means that every time buyers actually coming in to push prices back up, sellers actually come back to take control of the prices once again. And then right now we are still seeing the 100 and 200 days moving average still slightly pointing down. Not a good sign. I mean, very clearly 20 days moving average shows that there is weakness, or still sellers very, very present in this counter as well. They're not looking to buy, actually looking to sell. All right, okay, so what we have here is a 1 GT bearish signal that actually came out. When did it come out? It came out on the 28th of October, and we still do not have a 1 GT bullish signal just yet. So it doesn't mean that the price is going to crash to a $1 or anything in the next few days, few weeks or what. We don't know. You don't know, but at least it tells us that there is selling pressure still very present in the counter at this point. So with these prices just rebounding from the 240 level, I think the immediate resistance will be around the 270 to 280 level, where you potentially could see selling come back once again, or maybe this continuation of these lower highs continue as well. So that's not what we actually want to look out for in a counter. We actually want to see the 20 days moving average flatten out a little bit, consolidate, showing that this 240 level is able to hold, and then perhaps even hit even higher first to break out of this pattern. But as of right now, I think Ted, if you're looking to buy, I would say maybe reconsider if you want to buy. If you're looking to actually thinking if you want to sell your current position, I think it is, right around time to actually consider to actually have a stop loss plan, especially if this 240 level doesn't hold. But longer term trend doesn't look good. We tend to not want to hold a counter that is in the longer term trend. We want to trade with the trend against rather than against it. All right, okay, so that is a very quick one for Capitaland Invest. Z, maybe you can bring us through the next one.
All right, sure. Thanks, Bervyn. Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, so I scroll all the way back up. Right? I think one of the first few that actually typed the counter is actually Linda as well. So Linda will be sharing about venture. Okay, so venture, as we can see, right, for the start of the year, it seems pretty okay, and then the uptrend started forming somewhere at Q2, right, and prices went up all the way to about past $15, even up till the high of about, let me see, about 15.36.
I think your mic just cut off a bit.
No worries. All right. Maybe I'll just take over for now. Right. For venture, Z, maybe you just log back in again. Not to worry. All right. So Linda, let me help you out with venture. All right. So this is my screen right now. All right. I'll just go ahead to help Z out while he solves this the mic issue. So venture. Right. So I think Z have just mentioned briefly that we have been seeing a bit of selling over the past few months since July, August. So venture was actually a pretty good company. I mean, if you look at it, somewhere in October 2023, look at this, right? We got some really bad bearish signals coming out, and there we go all the way down. So if we get bearish signals, as I say, you don't want to buy, you want to be careful, all right? And a bullish signal coming out, right, somewhere beginning of 2024, another bullish signals, and look at it, we started to see that reversal all the way back up, and of course, the green 20 days moving average line also started to point back up, right? But over the past few months, I would say since August, September, about 6 months back, right? Bullish signals pushing up, but I would say over the past 6 months, you can see that we have some bearish signals just coming out one after another, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we go down. Does it make sense? All right. So if you ask me right now, are we seeing signs of a recovery, right? Like for venture, are we seeing this thing happening, right? Are we seeing a reversal? Well, the answer is no. Why? Because do we have any bullish signals coming out? Well, no, right? The most recent one, in fact, just like on this day, which is on Tuesday, just a few days back, we actually have another bearish signal, right? So we've got a bearish signal, and it seems like we are pushing even lower. And if you look at what we call the green 20 days moving average, right? It's been pointing down, flat, down. All right. I mean, it's not like pointing up, right? So probably not want to buy. All right. Based on the one good trend strategy, we only want to think about buying when both the longer term trend is up. Oh yeah, I haven't even talked about the longer term trend, right? So look at this, right? Here, the longer term trend. If you look at the red and blue line, 100 days moving average just crossed down below the blue line. So longer term trend down, short term trend down. Bearish signals coming out since 5-6 months back. In fact, we got another one last week. Why do we want to buy stocks like this, right? No, we don't want to buy, right? So normally, what we advise, our graduates and even for our mentees as well, is that we don't want to buy a stock that is against the trend. All right, it can be really dangerous. All right, and we only want to think about buying when, like over here, right? Over here, when we see signs of a reversal or maybe a stock that is already strong, fine, then we can consider. But we don't probably want to buy this, all right? We want to get out, maybe get out over here when we saw a bearish signal, take some profit, get out. You don't hold all the way down if you already got in previously. All right, but right now, probably not want to buy. All right, Linda, I hope that answers your questions. Give you an opinion on venture, or that give you an opinion on venture. So, yeah, I'm pretty okay. Z, are you ready? Or maybe Bervyn will take over?
Maybe I can try. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we are good.
Can
Go
hear
ahead,
us?
Z.
Okay,
Yep.
just testing 1, 2, 3.
That's right.
Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so the next one that I'll be sharing would be, let me just share my screen quickly over here, is Sheng Siong, right? So I believe Ching Yang is asking about Sheng Siong. And you are also asking about like many banks. So I believe later we will also cover the banks as well. Okay, so for Sheng Siong, we can actually see that, over the past year, since at the start of 2024, right, prices has kind of like been moving just sideways, right, with all of the moving averages kind of going sideways and slightly pointing down, right? So it's kind of like trading within a range, not much price action going on, and only until somewhere in October, we actually see prices started to head up lah. But prior to that, we already start to see 2-1 GT bullish signal coming out, and as of now, there is still no exit signals yet, right? So let's take a look. So from then, the first signal came out until now. That's about close to 13%, pretty decent. And over the past few months, starting from November, right, prices has kind of just been consolidating sideways within a range, right? So I've drawn a support over here at about $1.62, right? And the resistance is somewhere about $1.68, whereby we saw selling pressure actually return to push prices back down. And if we look back a bit slightly further, right, somewhere in April 2023, this was where the high was at as well. And this was where sellers came in and pushed the price back down. So this is one of the levels, $1.68, around there. You want to take note and maybe set some price alert as well. If prices were to reach that level, perhaps if you're holding some positions, you can consider to take some partial profits. All right. So if prices is actually able to break and hold above this 168 level, right, potentially what we can see, and the next target that maybe we want to take note of would be around maybe 174 to about 175, right over here. All right, so perhaps you want to set some alerts at this 168 to see if prices is able to break and hold above this resistance. This is one of the key resistance level that you want to take note. And if prices is not able to hold above this support level, right, where can we potentially see some weakness towards? So I would say it would be around this level right over here, about 155. Prices may head back to this 155 level because this was previously a resistance, as we can see. You know, sellers came back in and pushed price back down, but we are still able to hold above it somewhere in October. All right, so those are the levels that maybe you want to take note, and that will be a very quick analysis for Sheng Siong. So now I'll pass the time back to maybe Joey or Bervyn.
Yeah, no worries. I'll go ahead to cover, then I'll pass it back to Bervyn. All right, okay, let me go ahead to share my screen. And I think a lot of you are asking about this stock called Centurion. Let me just pull it out. I think who is asking about Centurion? We have like, let's see, right? M, all right, M asking about Centurion. I think another one asking about Centurion as well. Let's see, how many of you are asking about Centurion? I saw like 2 or 3 of you asking about Centurion. All right. Okay, very good. John as well asking about Centurion. Thank you. All right. So let me go ahead to cover Centurion right here. In fact, Centurion is one of the stocks that we like. You have been following me since last year, right? This was one of our favorite stocks, and we actually saw some really, really good bullish signals coming out. And you can see, right? In fact, since last year, like 2024, February, right? Bullish signals coming out. It went sideways a bit, but when this bullish signal came out in April, right, the move really started, right? And that would be, I would say, like about a 46%, all right, in just about 3 months. How many of you are okay with that, right? 46% in 3 months, right? Went sideways a bit with a bearish signal, a new bullish signal came out, and off we went again, right, by another 46% in about 4 months again. All right. So a bearish signal, as I say, that would mean that, we have found a bit of a resistance. There are some selling coming back. We would have broken what we call, okay, let me just show you what I mean, right? We would have broken a trailing support right over here. Look at this, right? So we got a bullish signal coming out, August, a trailing support pops up. It follows it follows Centurion, all right? This stock called Centurion. As it moves up, we give it space for it to move up as well, all right? And finally, look at this one fine day. Allowance given, breathing space given, but yet it went below it, right? Kind of like close below it. So that's the reason why we got a bearish signal, all right? So once you got a bearish signal, you can see a trailing resistance pops out. But over the past 1 over month, you can see, right? We started to have 2 new bullish signals coming out. Look at this, right? We kind of like attempted to break this trailing resistance, and even another bullish signal came out as we attempted to break this resistance, maybe, right? So if I can just go ahead to draw this resistance level, I would say we might see a horizontal resistance, maybe around the 104 to 105 level. Look at this, right? A couple of touches came down. So I think it looks pretty bullish. It looks pretty bullish for now. We are still holding above the trailing support. The green 20 days moving average line, which was up, right? Since September, up, down a little bit. The past 1 week, 2 weeks started to point up, all right? So you can see green line starting to point up. We got bullish signals. We are above the trailing support. We got 3 to 4 ticks, all right? 3 to 4 ticks. Still looks pretty okay. If you want to get more confirmation, well, if we were to go above, all right, above the 104, 103, 105 level, right? In fact, you can see right over here that I have pretty much set my alerts. Look at this, right? Pum, 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 right? So if it goes to like 105, 104, 106, 107, my phone will ring non-stop, all right? I'll be alerted. And, you know, that is where potentially we might see a new phase of upside all the way to 110 to 115. I think this stock can see more momentum, right? So this Centurion, one of the stocks that we like since last year, all right? It took a little bit of a breather since December, all right? A bit of a rest for Christmas or what, I don't know, all right? But seems like now he has slightly woken up, right? Just woke up only, right? Haven't really wake up completely yet, but if we can break the 105, I think that's where it will really wake up, right? Then you might want to consider this stock as well, all right? So that is Centurion. And just to give you guys an update, I mean, basically, for these stocks that some of you guys are asking about, right? Not all of them we actually share with our clients in Phillip Securities. So to those of you who are clients of mine in Phillip Securities, essentially that's where we do share some of our top ideas by WhatsApp daily for free. Yeah, I say again, for free, live, right, by WhatsApp daily. So if you are not yet a client of mine in Phillip Securities, right, I don't know, I mean, you are trading in Singapore, you probably need a trading account to buy and sell some stocks, right? So if you have a trading account, all right, and you're not getting any ideas like Centurion or you know, some top stocks, right, make sure you check it out. The link is in the chat, right? You just put the link in the chat, check it out as to how you can become a VIP client of mine in Phillip Securities, right, for free, right? You do not pay anything more. I mean, you don't have to pay any money to open an account, all right? When you open a trading account, it's free, guys. I mean, like what you've been doing, same free, okay? You do not pay anything more, no extra charge or what, pretty much the same as whatever you're paying anyway when you're trading, the standard usual fees, all right? So check it out. That's how you can get some of my top ideas for free, much faster, and write gains like this, right? 46% in 4 months, right? We got bullish signals here. We do send out ideas like this by WhatsApp live daily, all right? So check it out if you are not yet a VIP client of mine, right? In Singapore, in Phillip Securities, check it out so that you can get some of those ideas much faster. All right, so that is for Centurion. That's for Centurion. Okay, let's go ahead to cover the next Singapore stock, and I'll pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next stock. Go ahead.
Thank you, Joey. So, okay, I think I want to just scroll up a little bit. I think Linda was also asking about Citrum. Raymond is also asking about Citrum. Styler is also asking about Citrum. So I think quite a lot of people are requesting Citrum. So I think I will do Citrum. Okay, so right here, I think Citrum is one of those stocks that I really like as well. But I think past few days we have seen a little bit of weakness. But however, overall, I think the longer term trend or the reversal into this uptrend since November is still pretty much quite valid right now, because the 100 days and 200 days moving averages are still pointing up. But however, in the nearer term, can maybe Skylar, if you're still here, can you tell me if the 20 days moving average, is it pointing up or down the green line? For those of you who are asking about Citrum, is it pointing up or down? Maybe just D for down or U for up for the 20 days moving average. Down. Victor says it's down. Correct. I think it's down as well. So obviously the 20 days moving average is not pointing up, not even flat right now. So there is a little bit of sellers that came in since prices approached the $2.30 level. But right now I think it is testing the 210 to, let me just change this color, 210 to the 220 support level. I think that is where you can see a little bit of buyers come back in. We hope to see a bit of buyers come back in as well within this range right here. Then perhaps maybe we can see the 20 days moving average continue to point back up again, hit back towards the $2.30 level. But right now, if we look at the 1 GT bullish signal, we do not see any bearish signals that have actually came back in just yet. So if we were to turn on the trailing support and resistance lines, you can see that prices are still holding above this trailing support, and the trailing support right now is around that 210 level that I've mentioned. So perhaps if we are able to see at least the 20 days moving average flatten out, this could give you an opportunity to get in close to the trailing support. Of course, you want to be a bit more careful. If this trailing support is broken, that's when you see this 1 GT bearish signals actually come back in, which means selling pressure could have increased as well. So that's not when you want to actually buy as well. So if you are getting in, perhaps a stop loss below this 210 level will be an optimal one for you. So, but if prices continue to increase higher, what would be the upside? I think the upside, we do a simple projection right here. See that, the upside could be around towards this 250 level as well. So I think still not too bad, The run up has been pretty good since, the first signal right over here. You can see up to prices right now is a 31% increase in about 4 months. I think the upside is still there. The potential upside is still there, but I think we have to clear the $2.30 level first. So I think that should answer for Citrum already. I think maybe Z, can you bring us through the next stock?
All right, sure. Thanks, Bervyn. Okay, so the next stock that I'll be covering from the Singapore market would be Rex. Okay, so for Rex, right, RN, you're asking about Rex. So for Rex, sorry, your name and the Rex seems very familiar, so I jumbled up a bit. But okay, so let's focus on Rex. Okay, so for Rex, right, from the start of 2024, we see that, the downtrend, right, is pretty much intact because it has broken one of these support level over here, right? It has broken this like 16 cents, this support level, and then it is actually a resistance. Like it has broken down and prices continue heading lower. Plus, we have confirmation from the moving averages as well, right? We see from 2024 all the way until October, we see that the 200 days moving average is above the 100 days and above the 20 days moving average. So that's not so good, right? Because we want to buy when the trend is actually up, right? Like Joey said multiple times. So only somewhere, I mean, of course, when the longer term trend is down, it doesn't mean that there cannot be short term strength, right? There can still be short term strength when the longer term trend is down. So that's why we actually see, sometimes the moving averages for the 20 days actually starts to point up a bit somewhere here and also here as well, right? But the longer term trend at this point in time is still down. It's still down. Only very, very recently, right, we actually start to see that the 20 days moving average has actually broken above these longer term averages as well, the 200 days moving average, right? And also somewhere in January, the 100 days have actually broken above the 200 days moving average as well. And just a couple of days ago on the 5th of February, we actually saw a 1 GT bullish signal coming out, right? So that's actually a good sign. So it seems like there could be a potential uptrend reversal happening right over here, but then the key level that I've mentioned earlier on, which is the 16 cents, right? Perhaps that's one of the key levels that you want to take note. Because right now we see that, sellers came back in right at this level today and sellers pushed the price back down. So it's actually tested this 16 cents, but right now it's still below. I'm not too sure if price will actually close above this level. But if prices is able to close and hold above this level for the next couple of days or maybe weeks, right? Then where can we potentially see the upside towards? I would say would be somewhere around here at about the 19 cents level, right? At about this 19 cents level right over here. So that's about 18% increase lah. So yeah, so perhaps you might want to set some price alert at this 16 level. So let me just show you quickly, right? How do you actually set a price alert? So you can right click and can just add alerts on this counter. And perhaps I want to add the alert when price actually break above this 16 cents, right? So maybe I can put about 1.61, 1.62, and then I can add the name, right? So this is for Rex International. Then I create. So this will actually alert me when price actually break and hold above this level. All right. So that will be for Rex RN. Hope that helps. I'll pass the time back to Joey.
All right, very good. Let me go ahead to cover the next stock, and that would be YZJ Financial Holding. I think one of you asking about that. Let me go ahead. I think we have Chi Seng, right? Chi Seng, thank you so much for joining us. Yang Financial Holding. Let me go to cover it, right? And you can see that this is Yang Financial Holding, right? And let me just go to clarify regarding like these bullish signals as well. I think some of you might be asking like, for these bullish signals, like how do we actually get alerted? So I think Z mentioned about it. You can set a price alert, right? Whereby, if you hit a certain price, you will be alerted, right? But what about if you get any like bullish signals like this Yang Financial Holding, like when we get a signal right over here, right? How will we know about it, right? Will we receive an email? Do I have to log in and then type the name and then see it over here when it comes out, or what happens, right? Well, essentially, right, you are able to send an alert, All right, a technical alert. So you can see just what I need to do is just to click on alternate A or just right click, set an alert, something like this, and we can choose based on the one good trend, the one GT Pro indicator that I have to turn on, right, regarding the bullish signal. So I can just set an alert, buy and sell alert once per bar, create, pump. That's it, right? So whenever there are any bullish or bearish signals, I will be alerted, right, in seconds, right, in seconds. Of course, now the bullish signal came out like last month, September. So if I set it, right, if a bearish signal comes out, if I got in here, if a bearish signal comes out, then I will know lah. Does it make sense? And that's where you could think about getting out. All right. So this is Yang Zijiang. Very quickly, let me just go through very quickly. Based on this chart, you can see that longer term trend is up, red above the blue. We got a bullish signal since September. I can quickly turn on the trailing support. Look at this right over here, right? So based on this bullish signal, a trailing support pops up since September, follows up, flat, follow. All right. And can you guys see that we are still kind of like, we are above this trailing support that is following it as it goes even higher. You give it space to move up, and there's still some space in between, right? In fact, quite a bit of space here as it's attempts to push even higher. And if you look at, so yeah, we got another tick as well in terms of the trailing support. We are still above it. Longer term trend up. Short-term trend, let's take a look at the green line. So look at the green line. The green line was like up. And if you ask me in December, I would say no tick, right? Why? Because the green line was flat, right? Nothing too good about it. But somewhere in January, this green line started to point up, and that's where we can put a tick. All right, so now you got like one tick, two tick, three tick, four ticks, right? I think it looks pretty okay. All right, it looks like it's starting to push higher, in fact. And if you can break above that 50 cents to maybe a little bit of a resistance at 48. Now look at this, right? Over the past week, right? Seems like some selling is coming back near that 48 cents, right? It goes up, come back down, go up, come back down. I think today is what, 48, right? Now it's 48. So I'm not too sure whether we can go above 48, right? If you can go to like 485 or 49 or 50 cents or 505, great, right? I think that would be another tick. That's where we were broken. We broke resistance, a horizontal resistance. We could potentially see more upside, right? Targets could then be raised, maybe, based on this consolidation phase, right? The fact that we have moved up after breaking this temp resistance level. You can see targets being raised, maybe all the way to like 55, fans, 55, I think 55 to 56. That could be the next upside target. So Yang Zijiang, one of the stocks that we like as well. In fact, we actually shared this stocks with VIP clients of mine in Philips Securities. As I say, guys, if you want to get some of those ideas much faster by WhatsApp, live daily for free, no additional cost, check it out, right? How you can become a VIP client of mine in Philips Securities, right? Especially if you're just joining us, you have no idea what we're doing, all right? And that is pretty much how you can come on board, all right? Okay, so let me go ahead, before I pass on the mic to Bervyn, right? Let me go ahead to cover the stocks that we have shared so far, all right? So if you have missed any of the stocks, so essentially when we cover those stocks, we're not going to cover it again, right? We're going to cover new stocks. So if you miss any stocks, you can watch the replay after the live session has ended, right? So let me go to cover what we have talked about. So when I first started, I talked about the STI, right, Straits Times Index, and then we talked about this first stock called Riverstone, Capitaland Invest, Venture, Sheng Siong was covered, Centurion, all right? Bervyn covered Centurion, right, very popular stock. Rex International covered by Z, and now we are stock number 8, and that would be Yang Zijiang Financial Holding. All right, so still a long way to go. Let's move on. Let me pass on the mic back to Bervyn, all right, to cover the next Singapore stock. Go ahead.
Thanks, Joey. Okay, so I think I want to cover this stock, UMS. I think quite a few people are asking. Emily is asking about it. RL is also asking for it. Okay, so let me just throw my screen up. Okay, so this is UMS. Let me just change it. All right. Okay, so UMS is what we have here. So this stock is one of those stocks that has a very close tie with this US company called Applied Materials. So the stock movements are very, very similar. Okay, so in the nearer term, or let's look at the longer term trend first. Right here, we actually saw on the 3rd of July of 2024, we actually saw the 100 days moving average cross below the 200 days moving average. That is even after the prices had already started to sell down as well. So that is not what we actually want to look out for. That is not in our favor in this sense, because this longer term downtrend has actually continued right now into 2025 as well, because the 200 days moving average is still pointing down right now. But what we are seeing right here is the 100 days moving average actually start to flatten out a little bit already, but it has still not, crossed over the 200 days moving average just yet. Okay, so prices had been rebounding twice right here from this 97 cents, the 97 cents close to the $1 psychological support. It had rebounded twice already, but it has still been pretty much kept under this 109.110 level. So that is not a good sign. Maybe this is a sign that prices had consolidated quite a bit, as you can see from the bearish signals, bullish signals, and then another bearish signal. Now we have another bullish signals again. Okay, so that means that prices had been just moving up and down in a range, pretty much not going anywhere. A little bit boring. Okay, so if you are looking to get in for a counter like this, I think firstly let's look at the longer term trend. Not very good. Shorter term trend, see the 20 days moving average. Okay, it's covered a little bit by the 100 days moving average, but it is still flat at this point. And then for the bullish signals, yes, maybe you got a tick there. You actually see that there's a bullish signal that actually came in. So if we were to turn on our trailing support right here, you actually see that prices are above the trailing support, but we have yet to break above what we call this horizontal support. Horizontal resistance right here around the 109 to the 110 level. So perhaps if we were to break above this 110 level, there could be another 1 GT bullish signal that could come out, and then maybe we'll see a reversal play with the 100 days moving average. Something to point out even more, approaching the 200 days moving average. But right now, if you are looking to buy, Emily, I think not just yet. Let's wait for some sign of strength from the 20 days moving average to give us a little bit more confirmation before we get in. All right. Okay. So that is for UMSZ. Can you maybe bring us through the next one?
Yep, sure. Thanks, Bervyn. Okay, so the next one that I'll be covering will be Singtel by RLTK. I was just looking at the Singtel bill yesterday. But yeah, okay, so for Singtel, right, we actually see like from 2023 all the way even to 2024, right, Singtel has moved, price action has been pretty much very boring because it has just been going up and down sideways, and we see multiple 1GT bullish and bearish signal, right, because prices have been going sideways within a consolidation range, right? And during this consolidation range, very clearly we can see that the resistance is somewhere around this 240 level right here, where we saw sellers came back in multiple times near it and touch it and you push prices back down again. So only on 28th of May, right, that's where we actually saw a 1GT bullish signal coming out again. And that's where we also saw the next couple of weeks later, right, price actually broke above this 240 level right over here, right? And that's where price has started to rally all the way up to 313. So I think this is a very, very good bullish signal right over here. And up to where the 1GT bearish signal come out, it has been about a 35% rise in price, right? And subsequently, right over here on the 29th of August, we actually see another 1GT bullish signal appearing. So this 1GT bullish signal, why did it appear? Why is there a second 1GT bullish signal appearing, right? It's very easy. We can actually turn on with a click of a button the horizontal and support resistance. So as you can see right over here, there's this red line, right? This one not I draw on, okay? I just click and it actually turns on. So price actually broke above this horizontal resistance right over here, right? And that's where we actually saw another 1GT bullish signal coming out. So when price actually breaks above resistance, right, I mean, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? I would think that it's a good thing because when price break above resistance, it means that there is more buying pressure coming back into the market, into the stock, right? And very recently, I mean, of course, if we take a look at the price right now, over the past few days, price has tested this 330 resistance right over here, whereby we saw selling pressure come back in once again, back over here. And then right now, I'm not too sure if price will actually head back down, but it seems like it is testing this 330 resistance right now. Okay, and if we look at the moving averages, which is the trend, 20 days moving average is pointing up, so short-term trend is great. A longer term trend, 100 and 200 days moving average are still looking decent. So if price is able to break and hold above this 330 level, where can price potentially head to, right? So we can actually do this projection again. and it can probably be around this 360 level to probably about this 370 level right over here. This could potentially be our next target if price can break and hold above this 330. All right, so that would be for Singtel. Back to you, Joey.
All right, thank you so much. Let me go ahead to share my screen and let's cover the next one. I think we have this stock right here called WeHer, right? I think Pan, you're asking about WeHer. Even Victor also asking about WeHer as well. A couple of you asking about this stock called WeHer. One of the stocks that we like actually since last year, a couple of bullish signals coming out. So let me go ahead to cover WeHer, right? So you can see this is WeHer, right? And since last year, in fact, the longer term trend has been up just by looking at the red and blue line. We got the first bullish signal in May, went up a little bit, nothing much, right? The green 20 days moving average was still sideways, right? But I would say the move really started right over here, all right, in September. We got this bullish signal 5th of September, all right, to be exact, 5th of September, pump. Look at this. After that, there we go, all the way up. Of course, the green line was flat, started to point up as another confirmation as well. There we go, all the way up, 95% in just about 1-2 months. All right, very strong move, right? And then we started to see some selling pressure, right? It was pretty much, trading below this resistance. If we can draw it for you, that would be the 0.52. Look at this, right? We hit it to this 52 cents resistance. We got a little bit of a doji, one of those reversal candlestick, right over here. It retraced back down. So there was a kind of like a sign that that level would be a potential resistance if we were to hit back there again, right? And true enough, right, after about a month, we hit it back there again and came back down again. Right? Does it make sense? So that's how, when we have a resistance level, if we do spot some reversal candles near that resistance level, it does give it a little bit more weight that, well, we might really see selling coming back there again if we were to hit that. Does it make sense? All right. So right now, let's take a look. Right. So you can see that has been pretty much the range since this 90%, more than 90% rally. All right. We have been pretty much moving sideways. Let me go to draw another support level right here. So that's been the range, right? Look at this quite clearly. It's like from 40 cents to 52, down, up, down, right? Look at it. I mean, it can be like that for the next, I don't know how long, right? But that is pretty much the range, right? And the key here is that over the past 1-2 weeks, well, finally we got a bullish signal coming out. The green line that was pointing down also started to turn up. So some signs of strength coming back, right? Some signs of strength coming back, all right? Longer term trend, the red and blue, that one has been up since last year. That one easy to see, but the short term trend turned up. A bullish signal came out. Well, I would say quite okay. The only thing that I want to wait for another confirmation would be what? Well, remember I talked about the resistance level, right? But we actually came down, right? We came down and then we came down, right? Can we break this level, right? If we can break this level, if we can break the 52 or 53 level right over here, I'm not too sure whether you will do it, right? Whether it's tomorrow or next week or next week, I have no idea. But if we can, all right, that would be another confirmation. There will be another confirmation, all right, in terms of this range being extrapolated or a projection all the way up. We could start to see targets being raised, right? This bullish signal can indeed start to play out, all right? And we have probably we would have another bullish signal as another confirmation, all right, of the upwards move, and targets could be revised maybe all the way to like 64 to 65, maybe around 20% upside, right? If that happens, if we can go above this 0.52 or 0.53 level. So you can see, right, I've actually set my alerts right over here, 535, 53, blah, blah, blah. All right, if it happens, I will be alerted. That's where I'll take a look at a few other things as well, right, to get even more confirmation. But so far, I think it looks good. We just need to get another confirmation if we can break this resistance level, the horizontal resistance level that have been holding since October for about, I would say, 3 to 4 months already. All right, so I hope that helps, Pan. All right, and Victor. All right, let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next stock. Go ahead.
Thanks, Joey. Okay, I think I want to cover this sets. Okay, let me throw it up on the screen. Okay, so here we have sets. I think previously was also on my watch list, but I think right now a little bit of a weakness as prices approach this $4 level actually sold down. There were 2-1 GT bearish signals that actually came in, and then prices fell quite a bit. I think I saw today it fell about 13% since the first bearish signal actually came in. Not a good sign, especially the 20 days moving average. I think sometime in early January actually crossed below the 100 days moving average already, and now we are going to look to maybe even cross the 200 days moving average. So the 100 days moving average, of course, is already pointing down. The longer term or the 200 days moving average is although still pointing up. If prices continue to fall, I think very surely this 200 days moving average must fall with it as well. So then we will not the uptrend will no longer be intact, and then we'll be heading into a downtrend once again, since the last time it reversed into an uptrend was in sometime in July of 2024. So I think right now, I think the immediate resistance would be around the $3.30 level, as previously it was the resistance. It went up, tested it, came back down, went back up again, tested it, and finally broke above sometime in August. And I think 3 days ago we had actually broke below it already once again. So where would the next support be? I think the next support would be at the psychological $3 level. And maybe that's where you can actually see a little buying come back. Prices consolidate close to this level. But if this level is also broken as well, I'm pretty sure that you may see further downside, especially with this 20 days moving average not showing any signs of flattening out, still very sharply pointing down as well. Okay, so if we were to turn on our trailing support right now, very obvious, if prices broke below the trailing support on the 13th of December last year, that's when the bearish signal actually came in, went down further, and then we have one more bearish signal that actually came out here. Why? So if you're wondering, let me just turn off this to avoid getting too messy. Just turn on the horizontal support and resistance. Right here, you see that prices actually broke this 350 to 355 support level, or temporary support level. That's when we had signs that it will, or there was weakness, and prices eventually started to head down. Yep. So I think if you're looking to protect some profits, if you are sitting on profits, especially if you have ridden it since the reversal of the trend, I think it's maybe time to put some money into your pocket. We are right around the stop loss area because prices actually just broken below the 330 level. This is a good level to actually take some profits, put some money in your pocket to avoid ending up in a loss as well. Then nobody was to say that if prices reverse, or we see the 20 days moving average flattening out, some signs of a reversal, that's when you can get in again. All right, Ada? Okay, Z, can you bring us through the next one? Thank you.
All right, sure. Thanks, Bervyn. Okay, so the next one that I'll be covering will be Hong Kong Land by Jane. Okay, so for Hong Kong Land, we see that since 2023 and even until 2024, the first quarter, right, the trend for this stock has pretty much been down, as we can tell from the moving average, right? And there are actually much more 1GT bearish signal than the bullish signal during this period right over here. But only somewhere in June onwards, June and July onwards, we start to see the uptrend reversal started to play out, whereby we started to see the 100 days moving average, right, crossing above the 200 days moving average. And that's a good sign for the longer term trend, right? And subsequently, we start to see all three moving averages pointing up. And this is where we actually saw our first 1GT bullish signal coming out on the 15th of August, right over here. And this is because prices actually broke and closed above the trailing resistance. Okay, and eventually, somewhere in October, we actually saw another 1GT bullish signal coming out. And over the past month, right, from September to October, we actually saw some sideways consolidation happening, right? So when we actually see sideways consolidation happening in an uptrend, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? Because that's where we can actually see some buying pressure coming back to support the prices. And eventually, price broke above this sideways consolidation, the resistance level over here. And we actually saw another 1GT bullish signal coming out. So that is a good thing, right? But very recently, we actually saw a 1GT bearish signal coming out. And we see that, the shorter term trend, the 20 days moving average, right, is actually pointing down, right? It's actually pointing down. But the longer term trend still looks good, right? The 100 and 200 days moving average is still pointing up, right? So longer term trend is good, but short term trend not so good. So meaning to say, very recently, short-term wise, we're actually seeing some short-term weakness happening. So what we want to see is that, you know, the 20 days moving average maybe can move sideways and start to head up again, right? And over here, I've drawn a support at about 420, right? Because that's where we saw prices actually approach this level. We see a long upper shadow, selling pressure pushed price back down again. Price went all the way up, selling pressure came back in, but buyers came back to support at this level. So I would say 420 will be a support level that you want to take note of. And perhaps this could be a level to potentially accumulate some positions as well, because the longer term trend is still up, right? And the resistance wise, that would be at a $5 psychological level, because this is where we saw selling pressure coming back multiple times. One time here, and prices neared it, and sellers came back in to push price back down, right? So I would take note of this 420 and this $5 psychological resistance level. And if prices continue to head up, right, and actually break above this $5 psychological resistance, right, where can the potential targets be? We have actually drawn this 565 because very recently we actually analyzed this stock for one of our clients as well. And why we actually draw 565, right? If we actually take a look back in history, we actually see this is the level, right? Somewhere back in 2018, right? This is the level that price actually tested multiple times right over here. So we would say that this 565 will be one of the key resistance level for you guys to take note as well if prices can break and hold above this $5. All right. So that would be for Hong Kong land. So I'll be passing the mic back to Joey.
All right. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much, Z. Let's move on to the next one. And I think that would be this stock called Hong Leong Asia. All right. Hong Leong Asia. I think Maggie, you are asking about this company called Hong Leong Asia. Let me just put it out. Let me see. So we have like more than 50, 60 over stocks, guys. I know. Thank you so much, guys, for really typing in the chat and letting us know what stocks you want covered. But as I say, our apologies if we cannot cover all of them. We are kind of like scrolling through and see which are the most popular stocks. All right. And yeah, we try our best to cover. Right. Okay, let's go on. This is Hong Leong Asia. Maggie, I hope you're still here. All right. Asking about this company called Hong Leong Asia. All right. So right over here. So this is Hong Leong Asia. You can see that pretty good. I think not too bad. In fact, we had some bullish signals somewhere in July last year. Look at this, right? Bullish signals. The green line that was flat started to point up. And there we go, right? From here, 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish signals coming out again. And we have gone up by, I would say, about 41%, right? 41% about 2-3 months. Okay, still okay. A bearish signal, you can see, came back down a bit. All right, so when we have a bearish signal, as I say, don't want to rush, don't want to get in and FOMO and all that. Don't need, right? Just take your time, relax, let it go down until it cannot go down already. Then we get a bullish signal coming back. Look at this. There was another bullish signal on December, 16th of December, right? Just about 2 months back. Green line that was going down, also started to point up already as another confirmation. All right. Another bullish signal came out. It went up a bit faster. All right. So I think it looks pretty okay. I think now we are 0.975. Longer term trend is up. Short term trend is up. If I can turn on the trailing support line, all right, you can see that right after this bullish signal have popped up right here in December, you can see the trailing support pops up, and we are pretty much above the trailing support line. So it looks pretty good, right? If you can stay above that 92 to 93 cents, still a bit of allowance, a bit of a leeway, below it, all right? We're still seeing a bit of allowance here. That's still okay, right? So resistance wise, I would say would be this level, right? This is key. All right, maybe you want to write it down, Maggie. I think this level is key. The $1. Why $1? Well, $1, first of all, is a psychological level, right? $1, $5, $10. These are all psychological level. We tend to give a bit more weight to that whole number, the whole level, right? So, and that's one thing, right? The next thing is that besides being a psychological level, over the past week, look at this, right? We have indeed see some selling, right, coming back over the past week. Look at this, a bit of a pullback, a bit of a red bearish candle, sellers just coming back and, just pushing back down the price, right? So that's where, that is another confirmation that $1 could be a resistance level as well. That doesn't mean that it's going to crash or what. I mean, it just means that is a resistance level. We are seeing selling near that $1, whether is it at 98 or 99 or 97, around there, right? Sellers are coming back, right? So what I'm looking for would be, I mean, if you want to take some profit near $1, 99 or 98, go ahead. I think that's fine. Nothing wrong to take some money and put in your pocket, right? But what I'm actually looking at is that if we can break the $1, all right, if we can go to 101 or 102 or 103, that kind of thing, right? that would be another catalyst, right? We might even see a new bullish signal coming out, all right? Targets could be revised maybe all the way to 108 to 110, all right? And when that happens, I would definitely want to know about it. And how do I know about it? Well, you can see that, in fact, I've actually set my alerts at 101, 102, right over here. And that's where I will be alerted as well, all right? And of course, if there's another bullish signal that comes out, I will be alerted as well, because I've also set an alert, like I say, right, for this bullish signal. You can see one good trend pro, buy or sell alert, once per bar, create, there we have it. Any bullish signals, any bearish signals, I will be alerted. All right. Okay, so this is Hong Leong Asia. I hope, Maggie, you have a better picture. Take note of the $1 critical resistance level for now. All right, so Bervyn, can bring us through the next counter.
Thanks, Joey. Okay, so next one I want to go through will be this Parkway Life REIT. Okay, so this is the first REIT that we are going to cover today. Okay, I think there is some signs of reversal, Clement, especially when right here where you actually see 200 days moving average already pointing up, and then the 20 days moving average just recently crossed above the 100 days moving average. So I think that's a good sign as a start of a reversal right now, because I think just today you will see that the green line is above the red line, above the blue line. So are we able to hold this reversal? I think the key level for me to be watching would be around this $4 psychological level. Firstly, because I think prices past 2 days actually came close to it, and then actually sellers actually push it back down. Today morning as well, it went close to this $4 level, and then a little bit of selling actually started to come in as well. So that is a level that you actually want to watch out for. If the prices is able to break close above this $4 level, yes, then maybe we can change this red line to a green line, call it a support. Then maybe that is a base where prices can actually push higher from. And then where to? I think around the $4.30 level. That was the previous high. See if there's any high. Oh, right here you can see that I think somewhere in 2023, this was the high. Late 2022, this was also the high before the prices actually traded below the $4 level already. So I think if this $4 is able to form a base, I think there is how many percent upside? We're looking at about 7.5% upside. Not too bad considering there is a REIT. And then right here we got 3 1GT bullish signals that actually came in for us as well. So I think that is a good sign. For me, I think personally, I'll just add an alert right here. Prices cross above, I think 402 will be a level I want to watch out for. Okay, so 402, if it's crossed, I'll receive alert. Maybe that's when you can actually consider a little bit more aggressive entry, buying upon a breakout. But I think we have to cover the downside as well. So if prices are not able to break above, comes back down, I think the key support level is actually quite low. It's about 350 right now, because that's where prices consolidated in the past before it pushed higher. All right, so I think Parkway Life REIT, I think worth to be on your watch list. I think can continue to monitor. $4 is the key level you're watching out for right now. All right, Clement. Zee, can you bring us through the next one?
All right, sure. Thanks, Bervyn. The next one that I'll be covering would be ComfortDelGro, because I saw a few of you guys asking about ComfortDelGro, like right? Okay, so for ComfortDelGro, right, we see that the past year, since even 2023, end of 2023, right, the prices has been going up. Longer term moving average still looking good, right? 100 days and 200 days moving average rate, and the blue line are actually pointing up, right? And we see 1GT bullish signal come out, went all the way up. I mean, of course, during the longer term trend is up, we still see some short-term weakness, right? Like right over here, we see some short-term weakness coming back. A 1GT bearish signal came in, right? But very recently, we actually see a 1GT bearish signal appearing on the 15th of January, right? And why this signal actually appear? Let me just turn on this trailing support and resistance, and right over here, we can see that price actually broke and closed below the trailing support. So not so good lah, because it means that there's more selling pressure for this stock at this point in time, right? And today we actually see that the candlestick, there's a very red candlestick right over here, and price is currently trading at about 135 right now. And it's not so good, right? Because why? The 20 days moving average, which represents the short-term trend, right? If we look at it closely, it actually starts to point down, and it's pointing down quite steeply. Plus, it broke below the 100 days and the 200 days moving average. Okay, so maybe what you want to take note of would be the key support level. I would say the key support level would somewhere be around this 128, 127 level right over here, because this is where we saw previously it was a resistance back here, right? And it was actually a support. Price managed to hold above it, even though we actually saw selling pressure returning, right? So this would be one of the key support level that you want to take note of for ComfortDelGro. And what we want to see now is that we actually want to see the 20 days moving average actually starts to stabilize first, because if now you were to enter, price can actually go lower. It doesn't mean that price cannot go lower, right? So we want to see the 20 days moving average starts to stabilize first, and perhaps we might want to also see that, somewhere, maybe hopefully somewhere around this 130, 134, 35, maybe around this level, we might want to start to see some buying pressure returning, and hopefully price is able to form a temporary support around that level, right? Before we think about buying this stock. Okay, so that would be for ComfortDelGro. So I'll pass the mic back to Joey.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go ahead to cover the next one, and that would be Keppel, right? Keppel, I think VJ, you're asking about Keppel. A few of you asking about Keppel as well. We have REITs asking about Keppel as well. All right, so let me go to just cover Keppel right now on my screen. I think so long you're asking about Keppel and Sembcorp, so I'll just cover one of it, which is Keppel. All right, Keppel. Okay. So, by the way, guys, as I say, right, we have covered, like I would say, this is the Keppel, right? Keppel would be the 17th stock already. All right, so let me just do a quick recap in case you're just joining us, you're scrolling through on YouTube and on Facebook. All right, and you have no idea why we're doing this. All right, and you want to know what are the stocks we have already covered so that you don't ask them again. All right, let me go to share with you very quickly before I talk about Keppel. Right, so we talk about Riverstone, Capitaland Invest, Venture, Sheng Siong, Centurion, Centurion, Rex International, YZJ Financial Holding, UMS, Singtel, WeHer, SETS, Hong Kong Land, Hong Leong Asia, Parkway Life REITs. Z just covered ComfortDelGro, and right now, number 17, I'm going to cover Keppel. All right, okay, let's go ahead and cover, right? So, what you could do right now, guys, I mean, if we have covered your stocks, right, would it be okay, guys, if you just help us to hit the like and share button, right? That will help us to reach out to more people. Hit the love or the heart shape button, guys. I'm not too sure whether you can see those heart shape that we are seeing on our screen right now. Go ahead, just hit the like and share button, hit some love, and so that that will be really helping out this video as well to reach out to more people. Thank you so much for those of you who are kind of pressing the heart shape. Really appreciate it, right? Especially if you have covered your stocks. All right. Okay, so let me move on right now. Let me go and cover Keppel. Okay, so this is Keppel. You can see that Keppel not too bad. I would say that we got some bullish signals. I'll not go too far, but somewhere in November 2023, bullish signals, it starts moving up, right? Starts moving up from here all the way up 13%. Got bearish signal, it starts coming down. So whenever we see a bearish signal, the short-term trend turn down, we try not to get in. I mean, we are going against the trend if you get in, right? So we want to think about getting out. In fact, take some profit and get out, right? And wait for it to go down, all right? So you can see a bearish signal starts coming down. Somewhere in September, a bullish signal came in. Look at this, right? Bullish signals, another one. And we started to see that reversal all the way up here. We got some bearish signal coming out over the past 1 week. A 12% gain, about 3-4 months. Okay. I mean, this is Keppel, not some penny stock, right? So it's quite okay. But let's take a look at it right now, right? Right now, over the past 1 week. We are seeing some bearish signal. Not one, but in fact, 2 bearish signals, right? So if you ask me, should we think about buying right now? So I'm not too sure, VJ, are you looking to buy or to sell or to get out or what? I'm not too sure, but if you're looking to buy, probably not now. Why? Because we got 2 bearish signals coming out, and you can see why do we have these bearish signals coming out? Well, I can just turn on quickly the trailing support line. Look at this, right? So a bullish signal came out. You can see that we kind of follow this trailing support, follow Keppel from September as it goes higher and higher. We're still above it. Look at it, right? Still above it. The green line was down a little bit. You can see it turns back up, and there we go, right? The green trailing support line follows it even higher. But over the past 2 weeks, right? Over the past 2 weeks. So this trailing support, as I say, right? It accounts for volatility, right? And if we do see huge volatility, right, this trailing support will be slightly further away, give it more space. But if we see volatility thinning out, very thin volatility, that's where the trailing support will be nearer to the price, lesser allowance given, right? So it gives it space to move up. And if the stock is good, if the stock is the pretty decent, strong uptrend and potentially hitting even higher, it should be above this trailing support. Why? Because we have given it allowance, right? It should stay above it if it's good. But if it's not good, if it breaks below it, like you can see over here, finally, after 3-4 months, we got a bearish signal coming out because we have gone below the trailing support, all right? And if you look at it, another bearish signal came out again, just in fact on Tuesday, 4th of Feb, right? Today is 7th Feb, it's about 3 days ago, right? Why? Well, I can quickly turn on the support and resistance. Look at this, right? So this is a green, right, horizontal support right over here. That was the low we have found in December. And it seems like we are breaching this support level, right, around that $6.70 level. So I think you want to be a bit more careful, right? Even though we staged a bit of a rebound, but it just looks a bit shaky. It just looks a bit shaky, right over now, right? So let me just go to turned off so it's not so messy. So you can see, right, we've got two bearish signals. Want to be a bit more careful. And of course, if you look at the green line, the green 20 days moving average line, right, it was like up. Two bearish signals came out. The green line is still pointing down. I mean, it's still kind of like pointing down right now. Okay. Do you agree? All right. So the green line is pointing down. So short-term trend is down. Two bearish signals coming out. The only good thing I would say about this is that at least the 100 days, the red and the blue, the red is above the blue, all right? But both of these two lines are not exactly pointing up. It's not in a very firm uptrend in the longer term yet. So maybe not that good as well, right? So I think just want to be a bit more careful, all right? If we do see a bullish reversal signal, something like this, okay, good. I'm not too sure whether when that happens, it will go all the way up. If you can like take here and, maybe like paste it over here or something, I'm not too sure where you will come back. But if that happens, good. That's where you want to think about getting in. If not, then just be patient, wait for it to happen. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, right? So we don't have to predict and guess whether it happens or tomorrow or next week. Does it happen? It doesn't matter, all right? We just wait for it to come out. We wait to be alerted when the bullish signal appears, and that's where we think about getting in. All right, so that would be Capo. I hope that helped you out a little bit, VJ. All right, so let me pass on the mic back to Bervyn, all right?
Okay, Ken, I think we have to cover something very important. I think the three local banks. Without three local banks, I think there's a lot of what a lot of you guys here are actually looking out for as well. Maybe I'll start with the first local bank. Okay, right here we have OCBC. Okay, OCBC, we of course, I think very clearly the 100 days moving average, 200 days moving average, still pointing up, still a good sign that there is still strength in the local bank sector, or people are still looking out or still pushing prices higher for the local bank. I think this support, I would say, in the near term will be around the 650 level, where prices previously was a resistance, then turned into a support. So it's a good sign that if you are looking to get in for OCBC, possibly this is one of the levels that you're actually looking out for. Next, it will be the 20 days moving average. So what we see here today is there's a little bit of weakness, slightly pointing down just a little bit. Nothing too alarming, I would say. Yeah, but we have been kept under the $17.50 level since January. So it's been about a month already since we have been consolidating under this level. 3 days ago, I think a few days ago, prices actually touched it and then came back down. So I think many are actually looking or watching to see that if this 1750 level is able to give way before it can actually hit higher. I think if you do just a simple projection, because prices are its current highs, just a simple one, you can see that I think the upside will be about this 1850 level. So we have the 1 GT bullish signal that is still valid since November of last year as prices pushed higher. So perhaps if this 1750 level gives way, you can just turn on the horizontal support and resistance level. Okay, let me just take away my drawing. You can see that there is this one line here. I mean, it's not extended out just yet, but if prices were to break above this 750 level, it will have breached this resistance, forming a new support. That's when we could have another 1 GT bullish signal. So still a good counter to watch. looking to get in, I think, close to the 1650 level, especially if we can see these 20 days moving average start to flatten out a bit. Otherwise, I think a more aggressive entry would be above the 1750 level. All right. Okay. So maybe Z can bring us through the next one.
All right, thanks, Bervyn. Okay, so to continue the banks, I will move on to DBS. Okay, so for DBS, I mean, of course, from the start of 2024, we actually see the uptrend for this counter is pretty much intact, right? All three moving averages are actually heading up, but of course, sometimes somewhere in July, August, we actually start to see some short-term weakness coming back, and we actually see some 1GT bearish signal, right? But once prices actually break above the trailing resistance, we actually see another 1GT bullish signal and price continue to head higher, right? So start of 2024 until now, let's just take a look how much price have actually risen now. So start of 2024, let's say somewhere around here, right? All the way to where we are at now. For DBS, price have risen for almost about 60%. So a lot of clients always ask us, right? Hey, is it very high, very too expensive to buy DBS now? But maybe back here somewhere in March, you might think, oh, price is actually too high. But it went up even higher. Then maybe somewhere around here at $37 in July. Then some people ask us, hey, is it too high to buy now? But price went up even higher, and now it's currently trading at $44, right? So let's take a look at what's happening right now and if there's any opportunities for this DBS. Okay, so for DBS right now, right, comparing to what Bervyn actually showed just now for OCBC, right? Do you remember that OCBC, the 20 days moving average that Bervyn have shown earlier was actually pointing up. But comparing to DBS, let me just turn this off so it's clearer. Okay, so comparing to DBS, right, we actually see that the short-term moving average, right, it's actually not pointing up so much. It's actually starting to flatten out and it's going sideways, right? So I've actually drawn a support level right over here, somewhere around 43, and a resistance around this 46 level, right? Because we saw, prices actually trying to attempt to move higher, right? But then somewhere around this 45.50, 44.50, right? That's where selling pressure start coming back in. So this would be two of the levels that I would take note for DBS at this point in time. And if you're thinking to actually accumulate some positions, where can you potentially accumulate? Remember, we always mention to buy near a support level, right? Right now, both longer term moving averages, 100 and 200 days, is still definitely looking good. But it's just that right now, shorter term trend, right, it's going sideways. So potentially one of the areas that you can position yourself for entry will be near the support, horizontal support level right here, around 42, 43 level. This, or maybe about to 43, 50, 60, this level right over here. I mean, I'm not too sure if price will actually hit back down to this level for you to buy. But if it does, perhaps this is where you can consider to accumulate some positions, all right? And for those of you who are actually holding on to DBS, right, somewhere around this 45.50 to 46 level, right, this would be considered what we call a resistance zone, right? So if you're holding on to some positions and you want to take some profits, right, maybe you can consider to take some partial profits around this level as well. Take some partial profits, put the money in your pocket first, and then use your balance position to continue riding the uptrend. Because if prices were to actually break and hold above this 46 level, definitely we will be able to see these 20 days moving averages starts to point back up again. All right, so that would be an analysis for DBS. Now I'll pass the time back to Joey.
All right, thank you so much, Z. Okay, so now I think Bervyn, you've covered OCBC, Z, DBS. Why not I'll just do UOB, right? Just to sum it all up. And I think quite a lot of you are asking about the banks, right? So we're just going to cover all the banks, OCBC, DBS, and now I will do UOB, right? So this is UOB. This is UOB. All right, it looks pretty similar, I would say, to like DBS and OCBC. In fact, many of these banks, the Singapore banks, have been pushing really higher since like beginning of last year. We broke some of the key levels. The longer term trend also started to turn up. All right, and we have been pushing higher. Of course, in the short term, we did see a couple of bearish signals coming out. Look at this, right? This was UOB in July. We got a bearish signal. It came down a little bit. All right, another bearish signal, maybe just sideways a little bit. But overall, longer term trend has been up. We got definitely more bullish signals. The 1GT bullish signals than bearish signals. And you can see, right, the most recent one, if I can just show you, will be right over here, So on November, right, 6th of November, right over here, you can see two bullish signals and it really started to move up even more. So longer term trend is up, right? Is up. Look at the red and blue line. Both of them are pointing up. Prices above the red and blue line. So longer term trend has been up, I would say, since like last year, right? Short term down a little bit here and there, right? In August, in October, a little bit flat, but overall, longer term trend up, short term trend, if it starts to turn up, plus we got bullish signals, even better. You can see that's where we started to hit even higher, right? And if I can tell you right now, what is UOB doing? Well, I would say that the green line. So we got bullish signals. It started to push up, right? Do we have any bearish signal right now? Well, I would say no bearish signal. I mean, is there like this rates bearish signal coming out like over here or here? Haven't yet. I don't know, right? Whether it will come out, but right now it isn't coming out now, right? So we are seeing a bit of a resistance. We can draw it for you at this level. You want to write it down? That would be the $38. All right, is it 38, right? $38 over the past 2 months, 3 months. It seems like we can't really, break above that level. Sellers are just coming back to push it back down again, down. In fact, last week near it, come back down again, right? Now we are 37.12. So still okay. It doesn't mean anything is bad. It just means we are taking a bit of a rest. All right. It still looks bullish, but in the short term, we are seeing a bit of a sideways consolidation, right? Maybe in this range, right? From 36 to 38. And how much would that be? That would be $2, right? $2 range, 36 to 38, right? So we are pretty much in this range, up, down for the past 2-3 months. How long more will we do this $2 range? I have no idea. It could be 1 more week, could be 2 more weeks, could be 2 more months, could be 3 more months, right? But we are essentially, right, just doing this range, up, down, right? Until one fine day, pump, we can break above that 38. Great, right? We would even see a new 1 GT bullish signal. All right, and this green line, I mean, look at this green line. You can see that it is like flat and then up a little bit. Now it's like still flat, right? But if we can break that $38, right, the key horizontal resistance level, if a new bullish signal comes out, if the green line also start to point up, that is another confirmation. That is where I would say, we could really start to see this, UOB Bank pushing higher as well. All right, and that would be a catalyst for even more momentum. All right, so that is for UOB. Hope you have a better idea of the key levels to take note of. All right, and let me just pass it on to Bervyn to cover the next stock.
Thanks, Joey. Okay, so maybe let's just do. Okay, so here we have Raffles Medical. Leong is asking accumulate or not. I think just on a glance of Raffles Medical, we got a 1 GT bearish signal that came in previously quite a while ago in 2023. Prices actually went down for about 25% before we had another 1 GT bullish signal that came in. Consolidated for quite a bit, nothing going on. And then I think sometime in the mid of last year, we actually saw another 1 GT bearish signal come in. No exit just yet, and we are down another 18% or so. So I think not a good sign. I think that also shows that over that period, prices actually came down from about $1.40 all the way down to right now about 84 cents. So it may look like, oh no, is it on a discount right now? Is it time to buy on the dips? I think we have to remember the one very clear rule that we always follow. We always trade with the trend rather than against it. So I think right now the longer term trend is still down. No signs of any reversal just yet. Maybe the 20 days moving average can give us a little bit more information. It seems like it is currently flattening out. No signs of it pointing up just yet. So I think just based on that, I think we do not consider buy as well. So I think right now the support is about this 84 cents level, the 84 cents level. Yep, that's when you see prices come close, touch, rebound just very slightly, not very much action going on there as well. Near-term resistance, I would place it at about the 87.5 cents level. So if we were to see maybe perhaps prices break and hold above this 87.5 cents, maybe that's when the 20 days moving average will start to show a little bit of sign of strength, then possibly a start of a reversal. But right now, we have a 1 GT bearish signal still valid at this point. Prices are trading very well below the resistance as well. If this support, 84 cent support, is broken, I think if we do just the same thing, instead of a projection upwards, or instead we do a projection downwards, could see prices test the 77 cents, 75 cents level, not where you want to be at. And if you are currently holding on to some of positions or some of these positions for Raffles Medical, definitely I say should not be buying. Perhaps also can consider a stop loss plan if prices continue to show weakness. All right, Leong? Okay, maybe Z, can you bring us through the next one? Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Bervyn. The next one that I'll be covering will be Franken by Gerard. Gerard is asking about Franken, right? So, okay, let's do Franken. So, for Franken, you know, from 2023, right, middle of 2023, all the way to like February in 2024, somewhere in March, right, our prices actually rallied all the way up, and we actually see multiples 1GT bullish signal coming out, right? And from the very first bullish signal up to the bearish signal that came out, right, price actually risen by about 90%. So that's an impressive gain, especially if let's say you have gotten in somewhere around here where the 1GT bullish signal came out, right? And subsequently from March, you know, to August, in Q2 to Q3 of 2024, that's where we actually start to see this thing forming, right? And this is what we actually call a double top, right? And it's very clear that the resistance is somewhere around this 170 level right here. When selling pressure came back in, you know, sellers came back in right over here, and push price back down, right? But at this point, I mean, okay lah, the longer term trend still looks intact, right? Still looks intact because the 100 days and the 200 days moving averages is still pointing up. But only you see somewhere in August, right over here, 20 days moving average starts to break below the 100 days and also the 200 days. So it actually shows us that, you know, the short-term strength, right, not so good anymore, right? And we actually get another confirmation somewhere in September, whereby the longer-term moving averages, the 100 cross below the 200. And this is where we are at now, right? Which is the downtrend seems pretty much intact lah, because we see that 200 days pointing down, 100 days pointing down, 20 days also pointing down. So that is not so good lah, because now the stock is pretty much in a downtrend, right? But very recently, I mean, of course, we see a 1GT bearish signal, bullish signal coming over here. It doesn't mean that in a downtrend we cannot see short-term strength. We can still see short-term strength, but like what Bervyn mentioned earlier on, we only want to buy when we are on the right side of the trend, right? The trend is your friend. So you want to buy when the trend is actually up. But now the trend is actually down. So I would say maybe for this particular stock, right, you might want to continue and monitor first instead of rushing in to buy the stock, okay? So as of now, in terms of the key support that you might want to take note, right, would be around this level right over here, this 108 to about 109, this level, because this is where we see, you know, buying pressures is still coming in to support the prices. But if price is unable to hold above this level, right, potentially we might see more weakness coming back into this counter, especially when the 100 and the 200 days moving average, right, are still pointing down. All right, so that would be for Franken. I will pass the mic back to Joey.
All right, thank you so much. All right, Z, let me move on and cover. So I think we have some of the questions that are coming out in the chat. All right, let me go to see, right? So I think, Sam, you have a question, right? Please advise whether the Singapore market will be going south this year, going forward, right? So whatever, Sam, we actually did a quick look, I mean, the outlook on the STI, all right, STI. So I think my take, you can watch the replay if you missed it, but I covered the STI right at the top, at the front, before we even look at your Singapore stocks, right? And I mentioned that, you know, for the Singapore market, we are seeing a bit of a consolidation, but overall, it still looks pretty okay. It looks pretty okay. I think we are quite bullish still, all right? If we can break that key level that I talk about, the resistance, we could even push higher, right? So I'm quite bullish, all right, in fact. All right, so I hope that helps. And I think we have some questions as well from Kiwi, right? Kiwi, all right. And Kiwi is saying that Singapore FI, I think we covered the Singapore banks, right? UOB, OCBC, and DBS, right? Considered income versus growth stocks, historical, got a good dividend yield. So I think the banks, right? The banks has been doing pretty well, as I mentioned, since last year, all right? And we have seen some pretty good growth, right, in terms of their income as well. Their NIM, the net interest margin, has been increasing as well. Very strong results reported by the banks, not just DBS, but I think also OCBC, all right? And all of them have been pushing higher based on this results announcement, right? So I think they're very strong, right? Income stocks, considered growth as well, right? Of course, you can't compare, you know, DBS or, you know, stocks like with Nvidia and all the kind of stocks, right? It's a bit different, totally different industry, but I think we're definitely seeing some growth in terms of their, you know, revenue, their income as well, growing as well. And for dividend, yeah, I think the Singapore banks do pay pretty good dividend yield as well. All right, UOB, DBS, more than 3 to 4%. If I'm not wrong, more than 3 to 4% yield. Of course, the yield may have came down a little bit because prices have gone up, right? But I think still pretty decent yield, right, for the Singapore banks, maybe slightly more than 2 to 3%, right, came down a little bit because prices have gone higher. All right, so I hope that answers your question, Kiwi. All right, EXP. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next stock that I will cover. And I think one of you are asking about William, right? William, you're asking about this company called Bumi Agri, and I think that would be Bumitama Agri, which is pretty much what I have on my screen right now. All right, pretty much what I have on my screen. So this is Bumitama Agri, not too bad, right? In fact, I know this stock has been in a long-term uptrend since the beginning of last year. All right, look at this, right? Red above the blue. We got some bullish signals right over here in February last year. And there we go, right? There we go all the way up, about 23% in about 2 months. A bearish signal sideways a bit, another bearish signal sideways a bit. And I could put your attention to this. This was in October, another bullish signal, the 1GT bullish signal, all right? And the green 20 days moving average line that was going flat, started to point up, right? And there we go. I would say about another push up, right, from here all the way up to we got a bearish signal, a 20%, right? 20% about 3 months, right? So if you ask me right now, let's take a look, right? So over the past, I would say 1 month, over the past 1 month, we did have a new bearish signal coming out, right? Maybe let me explain to you why it came out very quickly so I can just turn on the trailing support line pops up. You can see, right? After getting this bullish signal in September, we got a trailing support, right? That give it allowance and follows the price as it moves up, right? And there we go, right? Up. We got 20%, right? But you can see over the past 1 month, in fact, on this date right over here, on the 16th of January, right? 16th of January, we actually got a bearish signal. Why? Well, we have gone below the trailing support line that actually accounts for the volatility, that actually accounts for the space that we're given it already, and yet you still go below it. So not so good. And of course, if you look at another confirmation, the green line actually has also started to point down even before it broke the trailing support, even before the bearish signal came out. So that will be 2 confirmations pointing to more downside in the short term. Does it make sense? All right. And have we pushed lower? Yes, we have pushed lower. We have indeed pushed lower. I mean, look at this, right? We have started to push lower. The green line, I mean, is still pointing down. All right. And now it's what, 0.78. So if you ask me right now, I would say that hold your guns, right? Hold your guns. I'm not too sure whether you're thinking to buy or not, William, but if you're looking to buy, maybe not yet, all right, because the short-term trend is still down. Why not wait for it to turn back up, wait for a new bullish signal coming out, and that's where you could think about getting in again, all right? But overall, I would say that the short-term trend is down. But if you ask me, the longer-term trend, is it down? Not really, right? Not really, because the red and the blue line, look at the red and blue line has been up since last year, all right? So the red and blue line, they are still pointing up, right? It's still okay. It's still okay, right? The longer term trend, but I just have no idea when the short term trend will start to reverse back up. When that happens, great. That's where all stars are aligned. We get 3 to 4 confirmation of the reversal. That's where you want to think about getting in again. But before that happens, you don't have to guess when it happen. Let it happen. If it happens, you know about it, and that's where you can think about getting in. All right. So that is for Bumitama Agri. And first thing first, right, guys? I mean, as I say, I think some of you are asking a little bit like the indicator, and all that. So essentially, guys, for those of you who want to find out a little bit more as to how, just like what we're doing over here, right, to get an opinion on any stock. So what we have been doing, guys, I mean, me, Bervyn and Zee, we have been pretty much covering your stocks. In case you have no idea, right, we have been pretty much covering stock from my one good trend strategy, all right? And with this strategy, there's this one good trend pro indicator. In short, it's the 1GT pro indicator that pretty much allows us to give you an opinion in seconds, all right, based on the bullish and bearish signals. But it's nothing complicated. I mean, if you can know the name of the stock, you can just type it in, whether is it like DBS or UOB or Apple or Microsoft or whatever you want, you can do it as well, right? So if you want to find a bit more on how you can get access to this tool, all right, this 1GT pro indicator, and maybe understand the framework behind the indicator, attend one of those free, all right, attend one of those free web class. Team just place the link in the chat again in case you missed it. It's like probably hidden somewhere at the top already, right? So that's the link to register for free webinar, whereby I will dive into it even more, and you can find out maybe how you can have access to this tool as well to guide you when to buy, when to sell, when to get out as well. I think that's really, really important. All right, so that will be Bumitama Agri. All right, so that's the link in the chat as well. And of course, if you can see on my screen, there will be a QR code. If you're on your computer, you can just take out your phone to scan the QR code. to pretty much join us and register for the next webinar that we have, I think, like next week. All right. Okay, very good. So guys, let's move on to the next stock. Bervyn, it's back to you. All right, we just go on to cover maybe about 2 or 3 more stocks, one more round, and then we will share with you guys one stock each that we like at the end that you might want to put in your watch list for potentially more upside. All right. Okay, let's go.
Thanks, Joey. I think the next one I want to cover actually is this Tuan Seng Pak Song is asking about this. I think, wow, quite a pretty good up move. I think recently, since September, actually saw prices start to reverse out, especially in the nearer term trend. The 20 days moving average crossed the 100 days, 200 days moving average, and sometime in November, we actually saw that the 100 days finally broke above the 200 days moving average, and now we have the green line above the red line and above the blue line. So that's a sign that there's the uptrend is intact at this point. This was after prices actually came down or was in a downtrend since very long ago. Actually, since 2021 it had actually been in the downtrend. So we finally see some positive price movement instead of rather selling down week after week. You finally see some positive price actions come in, but prices actually met with a bit of a resistance right around this 32 cents level. This 32 cents level, prices met with a bit of sellers, profit taking actually came in perhaps for those that actually bought previously. But right now, I think with 1 GT bullish signals that are actually still valid, I think the signs of the uptrend continuing is still very strong or still very positive at this point. Yeah, so perhaps maybe we could find a little bit of a support around the 28 cents level. Why? It's because prices previously came here, tested it, break above, but didn't hold, and then finally came above this 28 cents level very, very, very recently as well. So what we want to actually see is maybe a little bit of consolidation first. A sign of a healthy uptrend is always one with a bit of consolidation before heading to a higher level, right? Okay, so if that's the case, perhaps we may see the upside towards the just let me move this thing up slightly towards the 36 cents, maybe 36.5 cents level could be the upside target if the 32 cents gives way. But let me just turn on the the trailing support and resistance lines to take a look. Okay, so just slightly prices are still on the trailing support is still close to the 28 cents level. Thus, if the prices, or we actually see sellers coming in, push prices down towards this 28 cents level, this could be a potential entry zone very, very close to the trailing support. Could potentially be a good setup to ride the uptrend further. But if you see if you see the 28 cents level broken, perhaps that's where the 1 GT bearish signal could come in, and that's where you want to place a stop loss as well, especially if you're getting in at this level. So I think the overall trend looks like it's recovering. I think can continue to monitor this counter. All right, Pak Siong. All right, Zee, maybe take us through the next one.
All right, thanks, Bervyn. Okay, so the next one that I'll be covering, right, will be called iRead Global from Gerard Tan. I hope you are still here. Okay, so for iRead Global, right, we can very clearly see that, the downtrend is pretty much intact for this counter, right? The moving averages are all pointing down. And even in fact, like, I think prior to 2023, right, the downtrend was already intact. Somewhere in 2022, May, we actually start to see the downtrend starting to form, right? And there's a lot of 1 GT bearish signal coming out, right? And if you just look at, okay, don't need to look too far, we just look at 2024, right? When the 1 GT bullish signal, bearish signal actually came out, right, to where we are at, right, price is really down by almost 32%. So I hope, those of you, right, who have bought somewhere when it was at a high, in 2022, 2023, when price have actually broken a support level, right, I hope you guys have really cut your losses, okay? Don't keep holding a stock all the way down, especially when the trend is down as well. Then you'll be sitting on a lot of unrealized losses, and that's not what we want, okay? So do remember to always have your trading plan in place, always have your stop loss in place as well, especially when we see such things happening. Okay, so very recently, I mean, of course, we see a 1 GT bearish signal coming out just a couple of days ago, just on the 6th of Feb, which is yesterday, right? Another one GT bearish signal come out. I mean, of course, the first one already came out in November, right? And why these actually come out? We can turn on this trailing support and resistance with a click of a button right over here. And we can see that, you know, price actually closed below the trailing support. And when price closed below the trailing support, it's not so good because it means that there is more selling pressure coming back, right? And then subsequently, prices is also trading below this red line over here, which is the trailing resistance line. And then we actually see another one GT bearish signal come out. Very likely it's because we have actually broken the horizontal support level right over here, even though it's not extended. But if we extend it, right, let me just draw this like this, it has actually broken the horizontal support. So when price keep breaking the support, right, I mean, of course, it's not very good lah, because it just means that there is no buyers coming back to support the prices. Okay, so if price were to break below this support level, right, where can we potentially see price head towards, right? We can actually draw based on the projection as well. So if we were to draw here, right, this previously would be a resistance, correct? So this would be a resistance because price came down, it was a support and then it became a resistance. It was a support back here. Buyers came back in, push prices back up. Sellers came in, push price back down, and eventually it broke above, right? It broke above, and right now, you know, over here somewhere in September, buyers came in to test it but unable to break above it. So this 30 cents to 31 cents, right, would be one of the level to actually take note. And you remember just now we always do a projection upwards, right? Similarly, you can also do a projection downwards, okay, to see where price can potentially head to if it breaks the support level. So right over here, I will just do this based on the range. And if prices were to break and unable to hold above this support level around 265, where can we potentially see price head towards? We can potentially see more weakness back towards this level right over here around this 220 level. Okay, so for this stock, I wouldn't consider to buy at this point in time because, you know, all the moving averages are definitely still heading down, and it's still, you know, prices is actually testing this 265 support. So you want to monitor this 265 support, right? To see if it will actually hold first, all right? Because if you buy now, prices can continue to dip even lower, right? And then you keep buying again and it dip even lower, then like what I mentioned, you'll be sitting on a lot of unrealized losses, and that's not what we want. All right. So that would be for iRead Global. So now I'll pass the mic back to Joey.
All right, thank you so much. Let me go ahead to cover the next one. So let's just go one more round. All right, one more round. All right, me, Bervyn and Zee will just cover one more stocks before we move on into the final segment, and that's where we will share with you, you know, one of the bonus stock that we like that you can watch and put in your watch list. All right, so let me move on. I think I have this stock right over here. Styler, hope you're still here, Styler. Right, thanks for joining us. And let's see. I think you're asking about this stock called PropNex, right? PropNex and Capital DC. Is it time to take some profits? All right, okay, very good. So I'm very happy that, you know, some of you who are actually typing in, like in the chat, not just the name, but, you know, but not just the stock name, but, you know, the name, and then maybe you can type a few more sentences like should we buy, should we get out, that kind of thing. So we know, like, you know, are you looking to buy or to sell, to get out? You know, because I have no idea. I mean, just a name that we don't know where are you sitting on that position, right? So very good that we have this thing right over here. So I think Tyler, you're asking whether is it good to maybe take some profit for this company called PropNex. So I'll say that PropNex, right, very quickly, quite a good stock, We have seen a very strong reversal right over here. So you can see bearish signals, if you ask me, in 2024, last year, since March and July, all right, we got bearish signals. Look at this, right? This bearish signal, and it starts coming down, but not a lot, maybe like 5-10%, all right? In fact, look at these bearish signals right here. That was in 2023. This one all the way down. Can you guys see? Two bullish signals, it starts to move back up again, right? But I think the move really started when we moved, I think, say somewhere around like September to October. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 3 bullish signals coming out, right? 3 bullish signals coming out, and we actually found a support right over here. I think somewhere around that 75 cents. You can see, right? Okay, let me just remove all the drawings. So it's around that 75 cents right over here, whereby the 20 days moving average line was going down after seeing the bearish signal. It started to flatten out and it started to point up, right? But that move really started, right, when we broke some of those key resistance level. I would say somewhere over here, that 84, 85, look at this, right? It was like trading below it, and we broke this resistance. We got some bullish signals, And there we go, right? There we go. The 20 days moving average line started to point up as well as another confirmation. Look at this, right? The green line pointing up, up, up. Is the green line still pointing up? The answer is yes, right? So is the short-term trend still up? Yes, the answer is yes, right? What about the longer-term trend? Well, the longer-term trend has been sideways since last year. As I say, right, it was just moving sideways. Very boring last year, like if you ask me, right? We only woke up somewhere at the end of last year, October, September, right? And you can see that finally, right, the longer-term trend, just by looking at the 100 days moving average and the 200 days moving average, the red has gone above the blue, and both of them are starting to point up. So longer-term trend also up, Short-term trend also up. We got 3 bullish signals. So maybe if I can just turn on the trailing support line to give you an idea of where we are right now in terms of the trailing support. As you can see, right? So this is a trailing support that follows PropNex, all right, since September as it moves up from 80 cents all the way to $1.09 now, right? It follows, follow, give it space for it to move higher. Hopefully it can go higher. And yes, it did go higher, all right? And there we are, all right? We are still above this trailing support line. That would be another confirmation. So I think this trailing support line somewhere around the $1 level. So I think it can hold above that $1 or maybe even 105. The uptrend looks firmly intact, right? Looks firmly intact. And what I'm looking for, all right, is actually if we can break this key resistance level. Let me just draw it for you. I think that would be the $1.10. Why? Because that's a psychological level, and over the past 2 weeks, it seems like we are seeing a bit of selling right over here, right? We just cannot go above it, right? Sellers just comes back and push it back down, all right? But you can see that I've set my alerts as well, 1.11, 1.12, 1.13. I need to know about it, all right? And that is where I think if you can break the 110 resistance, potentially targets could be revised higher, all right? From this maybe consolidation, maybe all the way to like 120. That's where we could see even more upside. So watch this stock. I think if you're asking whether to take some profit right now on Styler, you can take some profit. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I just want to be clear, right? There's nothing wrong to take some profit, right? You'll take some profit at 109 or 108. That's fine. Nothing wrong. I mean, if you've got in like 80 cents, 90 cents, you're definitely sitting on profit. So take some profits. That's fine, all right? Maybe hold some positions to see if you can break the 110. If we do, great, right? That's where you could ride at those, profits even more, or maybe think about getting in new aggressive positions to ride the upside further. All right, I think when that happens, we may even see a new bullish signal. All right, and now that would be another confirmation. All right, so that will be PropNex. Styler, I hope that helps. All right, let me pass on the mic back to Bervyn to cover the next stock.
Thanks, Joey. Okay, so I think someone was asking earlier on about AEM. AEM, I think this was one of the top favorite stocks back in 2022, 2021. But I think in the recent years, it hadn't seen much strength, especially the prices had actually sold down quite a little bit from the 350 level all the way right now to about the $1.50 level. So that's more than a 50% loss already. Yeah. So in the more recent days, I think the prices actually rebounded from the 120 level. But if we were to look at the 20 days moving average right here, after prices had sold down or sellers actually came back in at the 180 resistance level, we actually saw the 20 days moving average started to point down once again. Not much signs of any reversal. We have been consolidating in the middle of middle of nowhere between the 120 to the 180 level. Not a good sign, or not what we want to see, especially because if we were to turn on this trailing resistance and support right here, see that prices are actually trading below the trailing resistance. If we were to, after it actually broke below the trailing support, so if we were to trade, or if the prices were to push down any further, might see this 120 level get tested, and if it is broken, perhaps maybe you'll see another 1 GT bearish signal that could come in. Not a good sign. So where would the downside then be? I think just do another projection. That is another, towards close to this already 60 cents level. So that is another 50% downside before maybe you can expect any support. So not a good sign, not what we want to actually hold, or in the longer term, perhaps maybe you want to free up some capital, get out if prices are closer to the, or broke below the 120 level, right? Foot level, I think that should cover pretty much AEM for you. Maybe Z, can you bring us through the last stock before we review our bonus stocks?
Okay, sure. Thanks, Bervyn. Okay, so the last one, I saw the comment from Clarice, right? Clarice is asking about iFast, any uptrend coming? Okay, so let's take a look at iFast, right? I mean, iFast, if we look at the trend, we always look based on moving averages, right? If we look at the moving averages, what do you think of the moving average? I mean, if we look at the green line, red line, and blue line, I mean, obviously right now over here, it doesn't look like this. This is when iFast was actually in an uptrend, right? And we want prices to be in an uptrend, and then that's we consider buying the stock, right? When the green is above the red and above the blue. But right now, over the past months, right, since in 2024, we just see prices going up and down, up and down, up and down within a sideways phase. So not much of a uptrend, I would say, at this point in time. And if we take a look at signals, right, very recently, just on 31st of Jan, we actually see a 1 GT bullish signal coming out. So that is okay. That's okay. But right over here, right, I want to highlight this $8 psychological resistance level, okay? Because this level is where we actually see very strong selling pressure coming back. And how can we tell? It's actually also from this candle right over here with a super long upper shadow, right? So when we see a long upper shadow near resistance, it means that there is more selling pressure, more sellers in the market. Everybody's queuing here to actually buy. Don't give buyers a chance, right, to push the price back up. Okay, so $8 will be a psychological resistance that I would take note as of now. And in terms of support, right, I would say that somewhere the support could be around this level right over here, about 708, right, to maybe about 710, this level right over here, because this is where, when the sellers came in to push price back down, right, this is where over the couple of weeks, right, subsequently later, buyers came in to support and hold the prices. So this would be a support that I would take note of about 709 to 710, and the resistance would be at about $8. Okay, so what what I want to see now is for this 20 days moving average, because right now this green line is actually still below the red line, if you can see over here. So ideally what I want to see is that this 20 days moving average, right, to break and cross above this red line. So that will actually give me more confirmation that the short-term trend is actually stronger, because right now it's still below. Even though we have a 1 GT bullish signal coming out, it's still below, not that good, not that good. So I want more confirmation, right, to make sure that I'm on the right side of the trend, right? So if let's say you're actually holding on to some positions already and you are thinking of taking some profits, right, this would be a level, and this would be the zone that I will potentially look at, which is near this resistance zone at this $8. All right, and if prices can continue to break and hold above this $8, right, potential upside targets that we are looking at would be around this 850. And why this 850 is because previously we have actually seen prices head towards that level before we actually see selling coming back again, and it has tested this level 1 time, 2 times, right? Okay, so for iFast, Clarice, I hope that helps. For iFast, maybe these are some of the support level at 710, $8 for resistance, and the targets near 850. All right, so I hope that helps, and maybe I'll pass the time back to Joey so that we can actually share each of our bonus stock.
All right, thank you so much, Z. All right, so guys, thank you so much for joining us. We have pretty much come to the end of this session, whereby I'm going to share with you guys the 3 bonus stock, not 3 from me, but 1 from me, 1 from Bervyn, and 1 from Z as well. So total of 3 bonus stocks that we like, that you might want to put in your watch list, right? And before I do that, guys, just a quick run through. I think we have covered, if I'm not wrong, about 28 stocks, right? 28 stocks. That all of you have asked about. I hope that these were the stocks that you guys were asking about. The same thing. My apologies if we cannot cover all of them. There's more than 60 to 70 stocks. All right, we were trying our best. But as I say, if you want to have an opinion yourself, just by what we are doing right over here, you want to have access to this tool to help you as well. Check out attend the webinar to find out a bit more, and that's where you could do it just like what we have done. All right. Okay. So all the stocks that we covered is this, right? Riverstone, Capitaland Invest Venture, Sheng Siong, Centurion, Seatrum, Rex International, YZJ Financial Holding. We have a UMS, Singtel, WeHer, SETS, Hong Kong Land, Hong Leong Asia. All right. We have a Parkway Life REIT that was covered as well. ComfortDelGro, Keppel, right? OCBC, the 3 local banks, right? OCBC, DBS, and UOB. Each of us covered one of them. We have Raffles Medical that was covered. Franken, number 22. 23, there was Bumitama Agri. Number 24, Tuan Sing. Number 25, iRead Global. 26, PropNex was covered. 27 was AEM. And 28 was iFast, which Z just covered. All right, so this is pretty much all the stocks that we've covered. Hopefully, all right, give us some hearts and light, guys, is especially if we covered your stocks. And as I say, right, if you miss the analysis, not to worry, there will be a replay. It will be on YouTube after this live session. So just wait to watch the replay, and you can take a look at the description, and that will be where we place all the names of the stock as well. And you can find the order and just scroll accordingly to where you want to go in terms of the stock. All right. Okay, so let's move on right now. Let's move on to cover the first bonus stock that I would like to share with you. And that would be this company called SGX, right? SGX. So SGX, has been in my watch list since last year. Like, look at this, right? We actually had a first bullish signal coming out in August, right? In August, 12th of August to be exact. The green line, so you can see, it was pretty much consolidating sideways. The green line was flat, nothing much. The bullish signal came out 12th of August. The green line started to point up as another confirmation. And there we go, right? From here all the way to where we are right now, I would say a 40%, right? 40% gain. That was about 5 months, right? And if you look at the longer term trend, the red and blue line, right? It was sideways as well, all right, since June, July, but same thing, somewhere in September, red and blue line both started to point up. So we push up, right? And to be honest, it was a bit boring over the past 2 months, Why? Because you can see that the green 20 days moving average line was up, flat, up. And then what happens, right? The green line actually started to point down. Well, the short-term trend actually started to point down, right? So it points down. It just means a bit of weakness, a bit of a short-term selling coming back. Hopefully we can hold above the trailing support. So let me just turn it on. Let's take a look, right? So you can see, right, this is the trailing support that pops up right over here. It follows since August, follow. It goes higher, it follows it higher, and remain flat. So the green line was pointing down. All right, and we saw a resistance. If we can draw this resistance for you right over here, the $13. So it was like, from about $12 to $13. All right, and the green line was pointing down. But thankfully, we were still holding above this allowance that was given, right? We're still holding above this trailing support at about $12. All right, but what is key here is that, as I'm talking, right? In fact, just today, right? Today we got this news that came out, right? Let me just show you what is it, right? By Dow Jones Newswire. Singapore Exchange set to benefit from elevated market volatility, right? So I think Singapore Exchange should continue to benefit for market volatility. There's some analysts that actually raised their target price. Morningstar analyst Roy Van Coolen, right, writes in the note, blah, blah, blah. All right, and pretty much I think there's some exposure to derivatives that this help it, push up its earnings as well as its revenue. And 50% of its revenue come from these derivative products as well. So I think that's a good thing, right, in terms of their revenue growing as well. That is probably the news that have came out. All right, I think there's another one as well, all right, that came out as well. You can check it out. But the key here is that technically, right, this 20 days moving average line, this green line, that was going down, right, has finally, right, you can see, right, has finally, just only starting to point up, right? That's key, right? The short-term trend has turned up. The longer-term trend has been up. We're still above the trailing support. You see, guys, this trailing support, now that we have gone up above today, this trailing support is going higher. We are following it as it goes higher, all right? And that will be another confirmation. The next confirmation, right, and the final best confirmation that I have would be that you can see this resistance level that we have tested 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times right over here in December, even near it as well. We sold off. Finally, today, we have gone above the $13 resistance level. That is a good thing, all right? And based on this resistance level, you can see we got a new bullish signal coming out. This is what I draw, but in fact, if I don't draw this, I can just show you, right? Look at this, right? I can just turn on the horizontal support and resistance. Pump. There we go. Look at this red line that comes out. Of course, you can extend it, and we actually got above that horizontal resistance level right over here. And that's the reason why we got a new bullish signal. So I think it looks pretty good, right? Looks pretty good, right? The fact that we got above the $13, it has gone up a bit faster. We got an alert for it, right? We got up a bit faster already. Just now when we saw it was like 13.05, 13.10, but now it went up 13.50, all right? So we kind of like missed it already, but never mind. The point here is that, $13 is a pretty good resistance level. We have broken above it. It would now be a new, I would say, support level. If we can stay above 13 or maybe even above this trailing support, I think it looks pretty bullish. There could be a new face up targets could be revised. I would say maybe to like $14, 14 and maybe to $15. That's where we might see a bit of a profit taking, maybe a bit of a consolidation. All right, so that's my first bonus stock I'll share with you guys, and that would be SGX. All right, let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to share his stock that he liked. All right.
Thank you, Joey. Okay, so now I think my bonus stock for this week will be actually this YZJ Shipbuilding. So just now Joey covered YZJ Finance. This is actually my bonus stock, YZJ Shipbuilding, two different counters. Okay, let me just clear up the drawings. Okay, so I think very, very clearly the uptrend for YZJ Shipbuilding is very intact at this point. So, but what I want to actually focus would actually be something in the nearer term, as prices broke this above this $2.80 level right here, 275 to 280 level that we actually saw happened in December. That's when we actually saw more bullish movements, as you know, the 20 days moving average was pointing up very steeply, I would say. But prices have been kept under this $3.10 level since January up to February. I think yesterday we actually came close to it, tested it, but we did not manage to break above it. But as you can see, that prices are actually very, very consolidating, very, very close to this 310 level. So a breakout could happen if we see a little bit more momentum come in for this counter. So if we were to turn on the trailing support lines, can actually see that the prices actually rebounded from the trailing support right here late January. So I mean, that is what we want to see, you know, the trailing support still being intact rather than it being broken, and then we will see a 1GT bearish signal. But right now, with this trailing support still intact, I would place like a buy a zone or a support zone just around this 280 to 290 level. That's when, you know, you could actually consider to get in, or I will actually consider to get in again for this counter if the prices dip towards this level. So but if prices were to break above, so just break above the 310 level, I would draw my upside towards the 345 or 340 to 345 level for now. So we may see one more 1GT bullish signal come out, especially if this 310 level is broken. So if I were to just delete that line and just turn on the horizontal support and resistance lines, you can see right here, right where I draw the resistance just now, there is a horizontal resistance line by the system as well. So maybe that's when we can actually see more upside. But firstly, I think my alerts are placed on prices breaking above the 320 level. Maybe the 323 level is where I want to receive an alert. And I would also like to receive an alert if there is any new 1GT signals that appear as well. All right, okay, so that is my bonus stock for this week. This YZJ Shipbuilding. All right, Z, maybe can you bring us through the final stock of today's live show?
All right, sure. Thanks, Bervyn. Okay, so the bonus stock that I have today, for some of you who have attending for the past few sessions, I think maybe you can guess what my bonus stock is. It would be ST Engineering, because I really like this stock, and this stock has been on our watch list, right, for quite some time back already. And I would say that the trend, right, is really quite beautiful. If you were to see it, right, it actually is pretty steady, and the uptrend is very much intact, right? And even though it's steady, right, there's some times whereby the price actually consolidates sideways before pushing even higher. So that is what I would call a very beautiful uptrend, okay? And over the past year, I mean, definitely from this chart right over here, we can see that there's a lot more 1GT bullish signal than the bearish signal. And every time the bullish signal comes out, it actually goes higher before we actually see some short-term weakness coming back into the market again, right? So over here somewhere in September, right, we actually start to see, you know, the 20 days moving average, right over here somewhere in, October, we actually start to see the 20 days moving average starting to flatten out, then point down a bit, but it managed to bounce above the 100 days moving average. So that is a good sign of the short-term strength. All right. And we actually also, based on the price action, right, we see that, price is actually going up and down within this range right over here, which I have already drawn the support and the resistance. So the support I've drawn is somewhere around this 440, because why? We see that, buyers came back in to actually hold and support the prices, even though selling pressure returned, right? And the resistance would be around this 480, right? Because over here, 1 time, 2 time, nearly 3 time, this is where selling pressure actually came back in, right? And very recently, we actually saw price broke above this 480, right? So previously it was a resistance, and then it actually broke above this 480 level, and it actually turned to become what we call a support. So this is the new support that we have. So 480 is now a support, right? And once it actually break above the support, it actually managed to hold above this 480. And today, we actually see a very long green bullish candle actually appearing. And I believe the catalyst, right, is actually because that ST Engineering backs new contract worth 4.3 billion in Q4 2024. So if you guys want to read up more about that, right, you guys can actually go to Business Times. I believe there's a news there, and they actually released the news last night in the evening. And this morning, when people actually absorb the news and read the news, that's what probably could be causing the catalyst that we're actually seeing today, right? And even here, just 7 minutes ago, we actually also see another news from Dow Jones Newswire. So that's a pretty good sign for this stock. I mean, it's good news for this stock as well. So maybe some of you might be asking, I think even Madam Tan, right? I think Madam Tan was also asking earlier just now, ST Engineering, what's the entry point from now to get in? Okay, so for entry point, as of now, prices have already risen so much today. I wouldn't ask you to actually go and chase the price because usually that's not what we advise client, and that's not what we want to do. So you might want to actually position yourself for entry near the support level right over here at about 480, right? So I'm not too sure if when the prices will actually return back down to this level for you to buy, but this is the level whereby this is the area whereby you can potentially set some price alert to notify you, especially when this news is being absorbed, there's more profit taking coming back, prices could potentially hit back down to this near this support level for you to position yourself for entry, right? And if you were to ask, okay, so where could the potential targets be, right? So same thing, we always base on projection. So the next potential target, right, that I would look at would be around this 520 level right over here, right? And I also already set, you see my alerts right over here, this black color arrow, whereby if price approach this 520, right, this is where you also want to monitor as well, because if prices is able to break above this 520 plus the moving averages are looking good, and if we have a new 1 GT bullish signal coming up, then I would say that we potentially have more upside to this counter, maybe perhaps towards the 580 or even towards the $6. All right, so this is one of my stocks that I really, really like a lot, and it's definitely in my watch list. And if you have not added in, perhaps you might want to consider as well. And that would be my analysis for ST Engineering. So now I'll pass the time back to Joey, maybe to wrap up today's session.
All right, thank you so much, Z. So these are the 3 bonus stock, right? SGX from me, all right, Bervyn shared on YZJ Shipbuilding, and finally Z covered on ST Engineering, right? One of the stocks that she covered previously has gone a little bit higher, right? So those of you who have followed her and get in previously, congrats, you're probably sitting on some profits. Let's see if you can hit even higher. All right, so I think, yeah, we have pretty much come to the end of the, Ask Me Any Stock live session, guys. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. Very good to see a lot of familiar names over here, and we hope that we have covered the stocks that you guys were asking about as well. If not, hopefully you can join us the next time, and that's where we could cover them as well, right? So thank you so much for joining us, guys. And as I say, guys, final note, if you want to find out a bit more on how perhaps you could have access to the indicator that we are using, right? The One Good Trend Pro indicator, whereby I know we've been analyzing your stocks and how it comes up with bullish and bearish signals to give not just us, but to give you an opinion in seconds, right? Attend one of those free web class, right? We have a last webinar happening just next week, right? Next week, place the link in the chat again one final time, and that is where you can find out a bit more on the entire framework, the One Good Trend framework, and how perhaps you could have a tool like this to guide you as well, right? So thank you so much, right, for those of you who are over here, all right? And let me just go ahead to thank all of you. We have appreciate as well. Thanks YC Wang, appreciate the education as always. Thanks Ada, Alex, Dave, All right, Wilson, thank you so much as well. Live Folk, thank you so much. Thank you, Pan. Thank you, Parvesh, Andy. All right, very good. Thanks, Chi Sing as well. YC. All right, so that's it, guys. So we look forward to see you in the webinar to learn a little bit more. All right, and if you want to get, as I say, some of those ideas. In fact, I shared some of those stocks. I think Bervyn and Zee shared some of them as well, whereby we do actually cover these stocks, and we do actually WhatsApp our clients in Philips Securities, whereby we're all brokers in some of those top stock ideas daily for free by WhatsApp. Check it out, right? The link in the chat again for the final time, how you can become a VIP client of mine in Philips Securities, right? You do not pay anything more. It's pretty much the same as whatever you're paying, right? Especially if you are trading, you have a trading account, all right? And you just log into your online app or platform and you just buy some stocks. Nobody tell you anything. Nobody guide you. Nobody send you any idea or video or WhatsApp. Nobody contact you. Nobody bother about you, all right? Check it out, right? Join us, right? And that's where you get some personalized service as well, all right? Okay, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much. We look forward to see you in the next Ask Me Any Stock live session that will be happening next Friday on the 14th of Feb. So we just placed the link in the chat as well, 14th Feb. So that next Friday will be on the US market. All right, and we look forward to see you if you are focusing on the US stocks. That's where we'll cover your US stocks next Friday. All right, so Joey here. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thanks, Grace. Thanks, Stephen. Bye, VJ. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you next Friday if you can join us. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.